Life's a coat of many colors. It is never black and white. Can't have one without the other. The dark without the light. In the summer we were lovers. With the flame our hearts would burn. A flame the autumn would smother and leave this heart to yearn forever blue, forever blue. I'm putting on a show for the world to see. No one will ever know that without you I'm forever blue. No more waking up early.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the finale of the Kindred of Fog City. Hope you all have been having a lot of fun waiting for this. It's been a few weeks past when we were intending to do this. Some life stuff came up, and even so, we are not able to have everyone at the table tonight, so we want to all send our love to Leona, who's not feeling very well tonight and has to miss out on the finale. Unfortunately, we were unable to reschedule for another time, an additional time, so we are going to soldier on forth. Before we get into introductions, I want to start off the bat with just some quick content warnings for what you might see in this episode. Just right off the bat, violence, blood and gore, those are going to be not explicitly described, but they are present. In addition, there will be references and potentially even on-screen gang violence and warfare, or mob violence with multiple people. In addition, there is reference, but never on-screen, referenced drug and narcotic use. With all that out of the way, why don't we go ahead immediately into doing some introductions, shall we? Starting off, let's go with... Why don't we just do a random order? Because I never feel like... Glyza, I feel like you never go first. Why don't you go first?
Hey, I'm Glyza. I go by they, them. I am a person of many hats, and tonight I will be playing Aurora Ballon on our finale for this Kindred of the Fog City. I'm sure everything is going to be okay. I'm sure nothing new is going to happen, and we're all going to survive. So that's me. You can find all of my stuff by just looking for @Classical Glyza everywhere on the internet.
Awesome. Continuing on, why don't you go ahead and follow us up with Tate and introduce your character.
Absolutely. Hello, Twitch. My name is Tate Washburn, and today I will be playing Dustin Knight Morgott, the investigator, probably is the right word, detective of vampiric origin, who is ready to take on a specific vampire who got away from him last time. He's not happy about that.
Yes. And last but certainly not least, Dee, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, my lovely children of the dark. My name is Dee, and tonight I will be bringing to you DJ Green for the final time. And I am excited to do so.
And I am Mallard Man, also known as Milan. Said it backwards. I am Milan in real life and Mallard Man on the internet. I use he and they pronouns, and I will be the storyteller for this evening. Let's start with a quick recap. Where we last left off, there has been 6 months since the encounter with the man in black outside the docks of San Francisco. Unfortunately for our kindred, he managed to just barely get away as they had to rush to deal with another crisis. Their comrade, Malcolm, had gone into torpor and just barely managing to survive a very deadly encounter with an assassin. hired by none other than his own sire. We pick up 6 months after that day. It has been a few weeks since those who went to Texas have gotten back. It has been a few days since the last of you have fed at all, so I'm going to have everyone start at 2 hunger for this scene. As you've all been running around and preoccupied with other things. This begins like many nights for this coterie, in the Duvernay property, sitting around tables full of papers, news clippings, anything. And the 3 of you are there. One of the
Anything new?
Valkyries.
Oh, sorry.
One of the Valkyries comes in with a tray. There's 3 black coffees on it. None of you can really gain the benefits of caffeine, but there's just something about doing an investigation with a mug of coffee in your hand that makes it help flow. Go ahead.
Yeah. I would like to think that Dustin has asked the Valkyries to sort of keep an eye on the priest, Father. I have his name written down, but
Father
Father
Rictus.
Rictus. You can decide how effective that has been for them, but I imagine he's
I'll make a roll
looking
for
at
it.
reports of what. Okay. What shall one roll?
Why don't you go ahead and roll me 5d10 and see what's a success. Looks like 2 successes.
At least 2, yeah.
Okay. The Valkyries managed to track Father Rictus during the 6-month period in 2 ways.
Mhm.
They see for the first 2 months he actually manages to bring the final end to a few neonates, inexperienced ones.
Mhm.
And that he leaves after about 3 months. The second bit of information they figure out, though, is that he does have a return date planned. He had purchased a ticket to come fly back into San Francisco about 2 days prior to this one. So he is here, but he has not shown his face yet.
Yeah, then I think at least Dustin's segment of the papers is sort of reports on people who look like him, as well as any more reports of the Man in Black or other kind that have showed superhuman powers, and he's sort of cross-referencing it all in like a pin board. There's yarn and everything between them. Just, is this like that? How do we interpret this?
Would Dustin look into his past, if at all possible?
I would also be sharing, by the way, what my parents have told me about Father Rictus to everybody, so that they know that they're specifically hunting the childers of my own dads, my own sires. So this is something that I have shared with y'all. So
Armed with
that's the
that
case.
information in
At 100%,
tandem,
we'd look in the back.
you get his history. Father Rictus was born in Missouri about 80 years ago. He was born to a family that had 8 children. 3 of them died before the age of 6, and he was the oldest by chance. He served in the military for about 5 years before coming back and becoming a man of the cloth. Now, his religious sect did not ban marriage, so he managed to marry his high school sweetheart. You find all this information out because you find an obituary for him. But the photo is unmistakable. It is Father Rictus 20 years in the past. Or, not 20. 50 years in the past.
50.
He,
Okay.
as far as the government is concerned, has been dead for 50 years. And you find a newspaper clipping. not to go into the specifics of it, but there was an accident in his home. They blame some deranged, using the language of the time, some deranged psychopathic from a nearby institution who had escaped and slaughtered the family in their sleep, as it is said. The police could not find any more evidence than that. As it turns out, their home had been burned down in the aftermath. Rictus, his daughter, and his wife were all declared dead at the same day, their obituaries appearing alongside each other.
Mm-hmm.
That is all the information you could find in the public sphere about him. Digging deeper, you do find, through kindred contacts, actually, Lucina helps you get some of this information, that Father Rictus is a known hunter, and has been a known hunter for a long period of time. He is one of the Canaria's people of interest to watch out for. He's not on the top 10 most wanted. That is reserved for vampires who have done unspeakable acts, or hunters who have killed many princes. But he is known in the vampire community for being a force to be reckoned with, although he has not been active for at least a decade.
Or at least the people we talk to say that. We kind of know different now, considering Aurora's family.
Whatever it is. That's exactly. Well, that timeline does actually mad up because of how long Aurora has been a kindred and how long it before them that the Jericho and William had not had another child.
Yeah. I think knowing that, like, Dustin would be maybe more gentle than he normally is with Aurora, like when he finds this out and while they're researching. Like before this, it's like, yeah, he never thought Aurora was like the sort of, I guess, vicious personality she pretends to have to like manipulate people, but he never really thought of her as like someone who's been through a lot, and now he's like, oh no, this is a lot. And now there's like a lot more sympathy. I'd say he was never disrespectful of Aurora and her abilities, but much more like, you have been through the shit, it turns out.
Makes sense. Especially since Aurora probably wouldn't have revealed it until like she had been sure that, you know, you've already met Father Rictus and we're all like trying to make sure that we capture or destroy the guy. So I think this would have been like one of those things where I wouldn't have revealed it, but I had to. Kind of thing.
I think it's part of that discussion. Dustin's like, no, we're going to kill him.
Awesome.
Like, I'm not. He has no information that we need, unless you think he has secrets to something. He's just a hunter.
Exactly. And he's the main reason why I'm afraid. And if we there are only two plans for me. Either I fix my own weaknesses or I kill him. Those are the only two things I'm sure will bring success, maybe. I don't know. Maybe calm in my life. That's pretty much all I want, really.
How long ago would Aurora have told us all of this? Like, number of days?
As soon as my parents have left, I would have told you guys. Like, not
This would have
that-
been about a month ago then.
Yeah.
Okay. I do think then there was more papers, like, out maybe a month ago, and that probably lasted for a week or two, of Dustin. He's gone through this library and cross-referenced everything he can on some kind of permanent version of, like, the spell that protects you from stakes, but you probably found a lot of books that are written in, like, a shorthand that's not Dustin's, that is definitely sorcerer shit, but he just cannot translate.
In the research of all this, from the books that you've acquired over your time, You do find multiple rituals that you had the option to learn,
Hmm.
which you would have taken during the time in between these 6 months, which I'm assuming you did during your level up.
He actually developed more like the raw blood sorcery of like manipulating his own blood kind of a deal, I think.
And equally important skill to have, as that is easier to use in the moment. But it is the day of 6 months past, a grim holiday reminding you of what happened, and your own failures is a strong word, but shortcomings when dealing with the man in black before. What have you been doing to try and prepare for this in particular? For especially to learn when he comes back, if he does.
Hmm.
Well, DJ, at the very least, has been not being overly helpful as far as his connections go and anything very material. But he has recently started producing church music, specifically so he can put like basically like sneak disses in music that Father Rictus may at some point hear. Just like using his influence to make sure it's at the top of the charts when he returns and all of those different kinds of things, just to
Can you-
essentially goad him.
Could you imagine that though? Like you're walking around and you hear some random song you've never heard before, just like insulting you. Like that would be so wild.
And it's not it's like subliminal, goodness gracious, D, I'm tired. But it's subliminal, so it's like not direct insults, but if you have context of what our situation is, you would know it's
Mhm.
very clear who I'm speaking to.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just permeating that across as much of the radio waves as human possible.
Bald people everywhere feel slight digs at them because you probably mentioned that multiple times.
That is correct.
Uh, this is the villain origin story of the company Keeps.
Bezos feels bad.
Good.
You should.
The beginning of the end before Bezos's decline. Yes.
Outside of that, DJ will offer the what resources he does have, and obviously use himself as muscle for anybody else's more particular plans. DJ in general, after getting things squared away with Uma, DJ in general seems more relaxed. Like he's not as prone to being angry. I think Aurora would probably know that a lot of it has to do with like Alizé and all that whole situation. And he just seems more, I don't know, in sync with himself, I guess.
Makes sense.
And especially during the last month, you all have not seen much of Uma, save for here or there. Uma has been spending a lot of time with their sire now that they are back in the city. But Uma does key you in on to one thing: a potential ally who could be very helpful to you all. And this ally shows up on this day. Well, this night, really. Flanked by too many Valkyries to count, you see the hunched, emaciated figure of Million, the Nosferatu you all met 6 months ago. I believe only Dustin and Uma met Million, though.
The
Mhm.
Russian guy.
No,
Yeah.
Million was the...
Or no, not the
What?
Russian one, sorry.
Because I met the
Million-
Russian guy.
Yes.
Not the Russian. So this one is different. Okay.
Million is the information broker who had a swarm of pet moths that flank him everywhere he goes. And you see the moths before you really see him as they trail in around, slowly settling on every piece of furniture, and you can be certain you're gonna have to replace the drapes after this.
Eh.
Oh, what a lovely place you have here. It smells quite domestic.
Have to put on appearances when you have this kind of wealth. What do you got for us?
Well, I've been keeping many, many eyes on the city, as has been paid for in full by your generous donation. A backroom deal that we won't have to go into for this session. I do believe your friend, who we all met a while ago, may have made his way back in. Now, I didn't get quite a look-see inside, but there was this grocery store semi-truck who came in with far too many freezers in. Certainly a kindred transport, to say the least. Besides, what grocery store gets in fresh meat at midnight?
I don't know. Vampire cattle herder.
Oh, I'm sure he'd be happy to turn this city to cattle. But
Fair.
our deal is, I believe, mostly concluded. I have informed you that the man in black has returned. As for his immediate plans, I have no information. Although,
Well, oh, excuse me.
I am concerned he moves rather quickly about the city. He's already made contact with many of his former associates. he-
Unsurprising.
At this point, jumps and lands on top of the kitchen counter and is just sitting with this strange, spindly cross leg. Almost like reminds you of a spider.
Just looks at the really nice wood for the table and just like, all right.
You know, I would have expected you to be more like moth than spider. I guess that's my fault for assuming things.
Well, does a king always look like their subjects? Is a captain the same as a soldier? And as he says this, like entire dozen go from fingertip all the way down halfway to the forearm and just perch there.
Good point.
But I believe you were getting to a more relevant point a second ago. Dustin prods a little, like, kind of impatient for this man ruining his furniture.
Appears he's not been completely inactive in his time away. I believe he has got a whole cadre of mortal mercenaries with him.
Damn.
Oh, but you have a mortal army of your own. And he makes strange gestures at the Valkyries, who are visibly uncomfortable by, may I remind the audience, Nosferatu are very visually monstrous.
Mm-hmm.
Not to the point that the average mortal would identify them as a vampire immediately, but still unsettling in their presence, to say the least.
They cost me money, and I tend to not like to let them die.
That's all I have to say to you.
What was the location of this midnight freezer delivery again? And you don't have to technically give it to us. Just
Yeah.
Dustin wants to write it down.
He gives you some address in Midtown, some halfway house.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, that
I'm still
makes
here.
this easy enough, all things considered, right? We've been getting ready for this. Kicking the door.
I suppose.
True. I'm only worried about, for one, this Rictus guy figuring out where we are. If we don't know where he is, the best place to assume is watching us. That way, if we're wrong, we're pleasantly surprised.
I don't know if he knows I am one of their children. I don't
True.
know. He could know. I haven't been hiding it very well, but I don't know. The last time,
Like I said,
the last time we met was at a party, and he didn't really attempt to kill me, or even recognize me.
A reminder that party was in public, which might have
Maybe.
led to part of that.
So, yeah, just like I said, assume the worst case scenario. If we know where he is, then I'll feel more comfortable about it. But
Of course. Well,
One thing
I know
I
where I
am curious about is, how do you all?
oh, he's still here.
Yeah, he hasn't left yet. He's fully like taken a cup and filled it with water. He's not even. He doesn't drink it normally. He just dips his middle and ring finger in and just licks it off. I am curious though. How will you all, just the three of you, deal with so many people with so many guns?
Well, it's going to depend on a lot of stuff.
They are not the only ones with guns.
Or people.
Yes, your fighting force of fierce females is ferocious and impressive, but unfortunately they're a little outnumbered in this scenario.
You feel special with all that alliteration? That do you something?
Yes, indeed. You know I was a poet before I
Alright.
was a monster.
I didn't know that, and I don't know why you
can
would
still be
think
a
that I
poet.
would. I am. But
Oh yeah,
either
sure,
way.
but I mean him. He can
Yeah,
still be a
no,
poet.
I'm saying I am, as in like I'm proof that you can still be a poet.
Fair.
But I mean, I figure most of his army will likely be kind mercenaries, like you mentioned, and I am not against the idea of just ripping a couple juice boxes apart myself. So
Fair. I would like to maybe wait to have too much more planning until Mothman here is out of the room, or like out of the house. So I think Dustin's like, well, thank you very much. We will continue your donations to your organization to the amount we agreed, and thank you. And just like gesture very meaningfully towards the door.
As you remember, no recognition, as he does not see, but he gets the vibe in your tone, and he just finishes by dunking one more hand into the water and licking it up. If you don't want any more advice, that's all right with me. Advice is always free.
Yes,
chuckles.
but the information that we give you shouldn't be. Now, if you excuse me.
And he exits the premises.
All right. So, Recon, right?
Yeah.
He is,
He's a interesting one. I don't necessarily want to lose his number though, you know?
He's a valuable info broker, just he's also an info broker. I don't want to just like talk about stuff in front of him.
Fuck him. But I guess if you're doing like the whole planning thing, that probably is a good idea, actually.
You can buy information from an info broker, but you can't buy their silence. Anyways, like I was saying, recon, right? We should try and get someone to look at this halfway house, see if we can figure out if he's got more people than what we think, where they are at, how they're armed, stuff like that, yeah?
Considering the time that I spend in poorer parts of the city, have I heard of this halfway house? Since I still live in the hood.
Go give me it's streetwise is not the word.
Yes, it is actually.
Streetwise is the word.
Yeah, streetwise.
Streetwise is a thing.
Give me
It's
streetwise and intelligence.
I'm assuming this is a San Francisco check because it's
Of
in
course
San
it is.
Francisco, right? Cool. So I get my specialty die and then plus intelligence, so let's plus this more. So let's roll 8 dice. I know the streets.
Wow.
This is the first time I've ever actually made a streetwise roll, and I've had specialty in it for forever. That is 4 successes, 2 of which are a brutal critical.
Wow. All right.
4 successes. Wait, did you get 2
4
crits?
successes. Well, I rolled a 10, so 2 of the 4 successes are from 1 brutal critical.
Got it. Oh, you do remember this halfway house, actually. Now that you're thinking about it. You know this because you're not allowed at this halfway house.
Shit.
The last time you were there, you caused a bit of a scene. You had let your hunger get the better of you, and you accidentally broke a mortal's spine because they were trying to start shit with you, and you smushed them into the wall a little too hard, and you heard a definite snap.
Oopsie. I'm a Bruja and a Scorpio, so it gets a little tough.
Can I say real quick, Mon, that that's an excellent way to do a brutal critical in remembering a thing? I love that as a concept.
Yeah,
I'm like,
because
yeah,
it doesn't-
remember the time that you lost control. Mwah.
It doesn't make sense for you to lose control when you're recalling information.
Yep. 100%.
Excellent interpretation of the rules.
It's almost like you're a good storyteller or something.
Lies. Anyway.
So yeah, you convey that to us, I assume?
Yes, I'll say. Oh, I know the place. I mean, from what I knew at the time, it was just a normal halfway house, and I can't exactly, be seen there.
You do remember one more detail.
Hmm.
That this halfway house was, at the time, under the control of a street gang. Now, whether it still is under control of that street gang, you have no confirmation. You haven't been there in a while.
Mhm.
But at least the territory was under a community protection.
Do we know which one? And is it possible to know, like, someone about mid-level of, like, authority that we can squeeze for information? In that street gang?
I would let you try and go after someone like that.
Well, yeah, but do we know who to go after is what I'm asking.
I figured DJ probably.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Knows a guy who knows a guy.
I got specialty in San Francisco streetwise, so I figure I'm pretty tapped in, right?
No role necessary. You text all the way back from episode 2. His name, I think, was Marcus.
Marcus, yeah.
Marcus texts a guy who knows a guy whose cousin did some work for this gang. You know how the grapevine goes.
Absolutely.
And you find out 2 pieces of information. One, at the time, the gang that was in control is no longer in control now, as that part is underneath a biker gang known as the Children of the Devil. Very on the nose.
So
Their jackets
stereotypical.
are their jacket is just full on, has a pentagram with the devil horns on it.
No imagination at all.
No imagination at all.
I want to say this is Dustin. I love that you've made this biker gang me, Tate, but Dustin's
Not a fan of leather and loud bikes.
love leather and loud bikes. I just like people who actually know how to do that. Might as well name themselves Kiss at this point.
Fair. Well, I mean, we could go check it out.
You
but
also know of a couple of bars that members of their organization tend to frequent.
I think it's best to try and meet up with these folks outside of the halfway house. That way we can try and, twist someone's arm.
I guess to DJ. Hey, does your buddy know any, could he confirm that this halfway house is someplace that the previous gang used? I just want to know if we know anybody with, a floor plan. Even a basic remembering of the floor plan of this place.
I mean, probably not. I don't know how long it's been since you interacted with Kind, bro, but that's not really... I don't know anyone who goes into a building and, writes down the floor plan. Well, that's not Kindred.
Yeah, DJ's Dustin's no one would do that, as he, puts his notebook farther into his pocket. That would be very weird.
No,
Having
that's
found
something like that.
having found at least 12 secret rooms in this house in the 6 months, now that you have full reign, knowing hey, these bathrooms, there's at least 3 feet of space in the hallway, and then you pull down a painting and there's a doorway behind it that you have to crawl through.
Amazing.
Look, I had to make a map of this place when I was first turned because, just getting to the right room at the right time can be a nightmare.
I mean, that's fair enough, but I can ask my contact, but I don't think he would have anything like that.
That's fair. Well then, yeah, I like your plan. Let's find one of these biker guys at a bar and see if we can't get a little information out of them.
Sounds great.
To
All right.
Aurora, how do you feel about wearing a lot more leather and a lot less nice leather?
I think that's a great idea.
Something that says leather daddy, but more mommy.
I will not give you any guidance on the energy that you bring because you are better than that to me, but just something that looks like it belongs.
I will give
Goes
guidance.
to.
Yes. Yeah.
You all
Definitely do that.
Sense of
Definitely
style,
do that.
he's just lucky that his sense of style is punk rock from the 80s, and that's still kind of cool. He's extremely lucky.
Don't worry. I know what you mean. Sort of. We'll get there.
Great.
You all suit up. Let's describe this. I'm assuming Dustin doesn't change much.
Not even a little bit.
Got it.
That's his jam. That's already what he is. I think he puts on his more rough-looking leather vest, because that's the energy he's bringing. But other than that, no change. He still even has his knife and his gun. I think if he can get away with it, both guns, but he probably actually leaves the shotgun in the car because it's very illegal to own.
Oh, absolutely. Although I don't think you'll get stopped here. But what does DJ change into clothes-wise?
DJ actually puts on the only suit that he owns, which he bought after realizing he was going to have to represent the estate on occasion. He bought this suit for this. It is a 3-piece suit, white undershirt, black vest, black suit jacket, gloves, and in addition to his silver pistol, he now has another equally big magnum. The silver one is called Truth, and the black one is called Consequences.
So you're fully just dressed up as Death the Kid, is what I'm picturing in my head.
With gloves on, yeah, that's basically what the suit looks like. The buttons are dark, this very very dark purple, not gold. But
I can
yeah,
only
that's an analog.
I can only imagine like this meetup when we actually see how we're all dressed is next to like the car. I think Dustin just wants to take his hearse. He just looks at the DJ and like, do you have a plan for blending in at a biker bar looking like that?
Nope. Not at all. I plan on sticking out.
What does Aurora look like?
Aurora is
Ah.
wearing a leather dress, and it is the color of this maroon, whatever, and it is a dress.
Okay.
And she is wearing stockings, fishnet stockings, with black boots, and a little choker with a little heart in the middle of it. And she has her side shave on, and it's very much purple and blue and pink. And she looks what you would expect if you could imagine a bubblegum biker. That is what she looks like.
Yeah, with the dark, like with the crimson colored leather and the boots and the fishnets, you definitely look like. There's definitely people who would look like that in the bar. That sort of vibe. And as the three of you get in the car and peel off on the way there, you get to this shitty little rundown hole in the wall, built like they're definitely built underneath an apartment building, but no one's in the apartments upstairs. They're all just boarded windows. You're on the wrong side of town. And you just hear
I mean, in this case, it's really the right side
loud.
of town, just to be fair.
Well, right side of town for your purposes. Definitely hear the loud music playing. Just some angry rock. You hear drums going on, and you see a few people like outside open containers, which they're definitely not supposed to do. And then one of them just throws a beer against the side, and all of them just start laughing. You spot the bikes in a large row. And these are definitely the right bikes because they're all matching and they all look a little stupid.
I will, while we're driving, once we come to like a slow bit, I will look at Dustin and say, now, I have been, mostly in the background for most of the planning things that we've done for this whole situation over the past 6 months. And I get that you would much rather have a plan than do certain things. So I need to stress to you, we're coming out of here with information. We can try it the Dustin way at first, but we're leaving here with information. Fair?
I think Dustin, like, before he answers, pulls the car, like, right behind these bikes so they cannot leave. And as he parks, he says, I'm not sure what you think the Dustin way is, but it's generally watch at a distance or kill people. So, I'm 100% happy with me doing my look at a distance thing if you have something slightly more subtle than shoot them in mind.
And DJ will get probably the widest smile that you've seen on his face, and he'll go, I've got an idea. And then I would like to disappear and use my obfuscate talent that I've developed over the past 6 months.
Ooh.
Does this
I
require
want
a
to
rouse
just-
check?
It does require a rouse check because of what level the power is. Let me double check. Yes, this is. So sorry. This is unseen passage, so it does need a rouse check.
Give me that rouse check.
I succeed on the rouse check, so only 2 hunger still. And yeah.
Okay.
So long as I don't physically touch anything, I remain invisible. And I would like to also be walking since I have level 1 potence, my body is the weight of a feather. And since I have level 1 celerity, I have fleetness. So I am just like
Ooh.
moving in and around people without like coming into contact with them.
You activate these abilities. And Dustin and Aurora, you immediately lose sight of DJ. Like you don't even
I would assume. Go ahead. Sorry.
it feels like a gust of wind blew past your cheek, and then they're gone.
The door
Um,
opens and closes, and we're like, what?
Would it be safe to assume that this isn't the first time Aurora has seen this?
I think that DJ would have told you that I have something planned, but would have been a bit of a cheeky bastard and said that it's a surprise. I can speak while invisible. I just can't touch things. So I'll say from behind Aurora, I'll say, does this count as surprised?
Aurora will smile and say, "It does. It's very surprising." And would happily walk through the door of the establishment. Currently, I've increased Aurora's looks into stunning, which means I add 2 extra dice pool to all appropriate social dice pools. But she
Ooh.
is very stunning currently right now.
When you two walk in,
Has to
it's
take his
that
eyes off of
very
her.
it's the very stereotypical like record scratch, and then everyone looks up as you enter the saloon doors that push open. As you get the feeling that newcomers to this type of bar, not normally what you'd see. But
Can I really quick say I did bring the shotgun, but regular rounds, just because I don't want it to accidentally melt when I use the Dragon Ton stuff yet?
both of you make me a wits awareness real quick. And actually, DJ, you could totally do this too.
Okay.
It's an awareness.
I'm not bad at that.
Not at all.
That is only a success on my side.
I got 2 successes.
3 successes for me.
2 successes was enough. Immediately you notice, yeah, it's pretty much exclusively gang members and people who hang around the gang, like partners and other people like that.
Mm-hmm.
The only people you see in here are the old people of the gang, like people who are gray hair. Like you see one dude has like the long, just mustache that's been braided into 2 braids, and it's like that's like pretty fucking stereotypical shit. Like you didn't think anyone actually had that in real life. Only on like Sons of Anarchy, the show.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this seems to be older people and not many young people.
Here's a question. Since we're all a little bit hungrier than we tend to be, how good does it smell in this room? Does it smell like there are a bunch of kine or only a couple?
Do you, DJ? No, this is you don't sense any vampires or kindred in here.
Okay.
Do you, DJ? You know this scent immediately, pretty much, because it's everywhere. It's the caloric resonance. Everyone here is
Gotcha.
high on fighting hormones and alcohol.
Sounds about right.
I'd like to point out that Dustin is 40 and like a punk rock leather kind of a guy. He is not surprised at all by these aged handlebar mustache things. He feels like, yep, that's how it's like, yeah, he remembers that very vividly when he was a kine.
Yes. But it does strike you that there should be more members here. Like this doesn't seem like this doesn't seem like everyone. And when you think about it, there definitely was room for more bikes, despite the fact that there are at least a dozen out there. It seems like everyone's here tonight.
Well, I mean, Dustin's gonna try and get a drink at the far end of the bar and watch Aurora and DJ do their thing. He's just gonna do so ready for a fight to break out if things go very wrong.
You
So I have
see
a
the
very
person
low
behind.
charisma.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, for any of you who want to express your presence a lot, I feel like there could be like a roll that could be made here. Why don't we do?
I mean, I thought about activating Daunt, but I don't know if it's... Is it fair for me to just be like a walking aura, like a D&D paladin? Just
I was
walk around
thinking
with
of,
everything active at once?
I was thinking of like turning on my awe as well. Just be like, you're an enemy and I'm stunning. What's up?
Do you do that? Do you want to activate your awe?
Maybe.
Ah.
Aww.
But before you make that decision, as you go closer to the front of the bar, because it's very suspicious to be in here and not drink, you see this 6-foot-tall man with a tank top and an apron tied around the waist with just a small name tag that says Bubba, Bubba, and he is bald with this squished face, and he is heavy set. And looks like he could lift a pickup truck. Now, what can I get for you?
Wrong.
Just,
Jack, if you got it. Aren't you invisible still, DJ?
Oh, okay. So when you said DJ and Aurora are gonna do their thing, you actually meant Dustin?
I did.
Okay, gotcha.
Sorry. If you would like to appear
No.
to talk with this person.
No.
But he just pulls out. He doesn't even measure. He just literally no aerator stopper or anything. He just straight from the bottle pours into a cup and then pours Coke in the other from a can. That's definitely been sitting on the counter because someone else ordered a Jack and Coke like 20 minutes ago at least.
Maybe to put on a little bit of a show, he's like, I just said Jack. And he just takes the shot without the Coke.
I don't drink. It's something I've been trying to do past 6 months. Can I just have a Diet Coke, please?
He just looks at the Coke that he poured out. I don't got any diet. Is Pepsi
Diet.
okay?
As long as it's diet and as long as it's with ice.
And he goes over to an ice maker and he just free palms it into a cup and pours some Diet Pepsi. He brings it back over.
Thank you. What a quaint establishment.
You sure
Doesn't
look
give
like...
us an eye roll like, I apologize for her.
Slumming it tonight, eh? You look like you ain't from around here.
You can say that again.
Yeah, being from Midtown, you'd have a few more worries on your face, to be sure.
Dustin?
Well, I think that's a little bit why Dustin blends in, because that's all his face is made of, his worries, it turns out. Now, if you say Dustin's like, what? I said this was my favorite bar.
It's lovely. Quite lovely.
Well, I worked here 40 years, and I had never seen your face before. Now, don't forget a face. And as he's talking and having to speak, he's blustering a little bit, and his face has started to go pink, just as a byproduct of existing for this man.
Dustin's not great at lying, so I think that there's a bit of a pause. He's, well, I had some work done. Had to hide. He's hoping that comes off as cagey rather than coming up with a story in the moment.
Sure thing, kiddo. And he calls you kiddo despite your age. Definitely a...
Dustin looks 20, to be fair.
That's true! And this man looks 60, but you could even potentially... You're gonna be older than him soon. You know that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, don't cause no trouble, and I won't have to kindly escort you out. And he does like a fake like little bow. What is DJ doing at this time while they're talking with a bartender?
I was actually just gonna say I'd like to step behind the bar and just sort of. I'd like to double check that this person has a gun of some kind under the bar. I'm expecting to see one. I'd just like to know what kind it is.
You dip under and you see 3 different kinds of guns. You see a revolver. There's a single shot shotgun, and then one that makes you very surprised to see is just a full-on like Uzi.
Didn't even spring for the MAC-10. Come on.
Didn't even get. You just got a fucking Uzi.
No cheaper. Outside of that, I'd like to just like give a cursory look around the bar to see if there's like a back room that anyone goes into or anything like that.
You definitely see a back room that is, yeah, that's definitely not the right place for that.
Okay. I will lean very close over Aurora's shoulder and say, "Be right back." And I'd like to... Go ahead.
Aurora slightly nods. Quick enough that only DJ would see it.
And I would like to go to that door and wait for an opportunity to go through it. At absolute worst, nothing happens and I stay in the same room as the rest of my coterie. But if I see someone come out of there or go into there, I'd like to try and slip in there as well.
Okay. With the fleetness and everything considered, yeah, you see one person go inside after a couple of minutes and you just follow them. And you find what you're expecting. This is a criminal back room. There you see very clear, obvious evidence of drugs and scales to sell drugs with for measurements and stuff like this. It's not a lab or anything like that, but this is just a place where people pick up things to go and take somewhere else to sell. In fact, you actually see a whole stack of cash just like tossed into duffel bags. You see a couple people working behind one of the stands. They're measuring out cocaine into bricks, getting the saran wrap, folding it like a Spam Masubi.
That is correct. Okay. But do I see... I want to look for anything Kindred in particular. Just in case. Just in case.
For that, I'm going to go ahead and ask you for a stealth and dexterity, as you are now trying to pick through things without like disturbing too many things.
For sure. And to be clear, to make sure that everyone's on the up and up here, I cannot physically go through the things because I can't touch anything or I stop being invisible. So I just want to like cursory eye glance of like, well, not cursory. I want to be thorough, but I can't physically touch anything. And you said it's dexterity plus stealth?
Yes, it is.
Wonderful. I add my dots and obfuscate for being invisible, and I add my dots and fleetness for having that active. So dexterity.
That's a lot of dots.
And then stealth. And then obfuscate. And then swearity. All right. Oh my god! Okay.
Is that a good oh my god or a bad oh my god?
Yeah, that's pretty good. That is 10 successes on 7 dice.
Okay,
God
you
bless.
like a piece of paper blowing through the wind, you quickly walk the entirety of this room. Your steps are not making any sound. You know that you're just nothing but a gust of wind right now. And you gain 3 pieces of information without anyone being the wiser. You see a couple maps. One map shows a list of locations and routes outlined in red Sharpie, which you clock. That's not where you would sell these drugs. That's where you would sell something else. One more piece of information you clock. Oh, there's one duffel bag that looks like it was brought here, and that has a lot of cash in it. Like, either someone moved 100 pounds of cocaine in like 3 hours, or
That's not what they were selling.
Or that's not what they were selling. And 3, did DJ ever come into contact with any of the drug that was being sold previously?
Not unless it was in the 6 months. Because prior to that in the game, I had not. I had been told of it, but...
Yeah. I mean, if
haven't
Dustin could get a
encountered
hold of it, he'd want some just to investigate it to the best of his abilities, but I don't think we talked
the
about it.
supply dried up, understandably, after that point.
Fair.
You find a manila envelope, and it is full to the brim of these small white pills with a slit down the middle. And you get the feeling you know what this is.
All right. If that's all... I say that's all, like that wasn't a lot of information. But if that's all that I notice, then I'll wait for a chance to dip out of this back room.
Okay. We'll get to that in a moment. What are the two of you doing up in the front?
I think in reaction to the guy saying, just don't start anything, Dustin sort of taps the bar on the universal hit me and says, wasn't planning on it. But to Aurora, it's like, so you want to investigate the old biker guys, or should I? Like, real quiet, trying to keep it under the radar.
I don't know, maybe. I usually let the prey come to me rather than go to them.
Well, odds are they're gonna be more happy with you sitting in their lap, so.
That's usually the case. Not that you don't have very good lap sitting capabilities, Dustin.
Out of practice.
Well, I'll be here, waiting for whoever wants to talk to me. Maybe you and... I don't know where DJ is at the moment, but maybe you could look around as well.
Fair. Doesn't take whatever shot he just got given, if this is the case, and I don't know, just take a look around. He's not really going to be as involved, obviously, as DJ being able to get in the back room, but just lay of the land. What do I get?
You two are definitely still being stared at by most of the people in this bar.
Imagine
People
for Dustin,
aren't
it's
like
a bad stare, but for Aurora, good stare?
I mean, definitely. You do see examples of you do see very clear examples of ogling of Aurora. Although, did you end up turning on the awe?
Yes. After DJ left, I had turned on the awe.
And it actually takes a moment for you too, Dustin. Like, for no other reason than just aesthetically, for you at least, you look at Aurora, and like, damn, Aurora does look like pretty fucking good in that outfit. Like that
understood the assignment.
Exactly. And you notice that everyone is taking a peek. Even you You get the feeling that there's even one closeted bisexual who doesn't realize that as she looks over at Aurora and is having a bit of an
Has an
awakening
awakening
right
in
now.
this
It's a
moment.
little bit of an
Exactly.
awakening. Yeah,
Uh,
I've been part of a
I think
conversation.
Dustin's only move then. Yeah, sorry. I think Dustin's only move is to move away from Aurora to give like the unintentional signal of like, yeah, you can definitely come and sit and talk to this person because she isn't necessarily with someone.
And the second you move more than a stool away, some like 60-year-old man who definitely should not be hitting on someone who looks like Aurora's age comes up. Well, hey there, sweetheart. Can I buy you a drink?
You don't drink, though.
Well, that's a shame. Person like you looks like you know how to party.
You don't need drinks to party.
Cheers to that.
Hmm.
And he like shoots back whatever swill he was drinking of some kind of clear alcohol.
Aurora raises her Diet Pepsi with very questionable ice and drinks it because she's a vampire. She's not gonna die because of germs, but very questionable ice.
Hey, Bubba keeps his place very sanitary.
Sure, Bubba.
Fine, then ice with human sweat.
There you go.
So much more appetizing.
So you don't drink. What's your vice then? Cigarettes?
You can say that. Do you have any?
He pulls out, I don't know, brands of cigarettes. Other than like
Same.
Marlboro
Misty
and
Lights.
Other than a Marlboro and American Spirit.
Misty Light. I knew you were gonna show that joke, Plaza. Misty Lights.
What's my vice?
I'm just saying the answer should be people.
Correct. But also, cigarettes would be great.
He pulls out Misty Lights. I don't know if that's a real cigarette or not.
That is a real cigarette brand.
I think is it the slim ones?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one. Misty Lights. I had those recently.
Okay, but now I assume that this man carries around a cigarette brand that someone of his age would assume is feminine, specifically to give to women who say they smoke. Like, that's the only headcanon for, like, a 60-year-old
That
biker
would
dude.
make
Yeah,
sense.
That would track, honestly.
He pulls out a packet of Misty Lights and offers you one as he puts a cigar in his mouth.
Misty Lights. I didn't know you had one of these.
I don't really smoke cigarettes much. I'm more of a good old-fashioned cigar type. And you see the cigar brand is Romeo y Julieta, a Cuban cigar brand that, for those of you who don't know, is also associated as a feminine cigar, whatever the fuck that means, but has a similar
Right.
connotation, just not in the US.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Hit the wrong button on my.
He turns
Steam
off his
Deck.
phone. Oh, I guess I booked down my podiatrist. Sorry.
It's not his phone, but Dustin takes his phone out. Like, did my phone make that noise? Like some guy who doesn't know how cell phones work. He's 40 in the early 2010s.
Yeah, sure. Is this... And then I turn to Bubba and go, can I smoke here, or do you have, like, no smoking thing going on and you want me to go to a smoking corner or something?
He just looks at you and just like ignores you as you see there are other people smoking inside the bar as a haze.
Well, that's not fair.
If it brings joy, I
At all.
love the idea that Bubba, like, looks at her, lights up his own cigarette.
Yeah. He clearly has a cigarette burning in an ashtray in front of him. You can smoke in here.
Sweet, thank you. I thought I'd ask. And then I light up my cigarette from, the Misty Light Slim cigarette.
The name's Paul. What's your name?
May I ask a question really quick? Is Paul have a Hell Rider's, like, vest on?
Oh yeah, he's got one on.
Okay.
Jasmine.
Jasmine.
Mhm.
And I want this to be clear that this dude's an awful person. He says, that's quite an exotic name you got there.
Oof. Yeah, he's awful.
Yeah. You know, I wouldn't call it exotic. It was in Disney movies for a very long time, you know. There are people named Jasmine.
Oh, what's that one? Aladdin. I love that one. That one's good.
Not surprised.
Yeah. I went to see it with my niece, actually.
You should really not talk anymore.
I feel like Aurora could deliver that in a flirty way, though, somehow. Like, Aurora would have that skill.
Like, this dude doesn't even care that you kind of just insulted him. He's clearly just trying to go for it. He's shooting his fucking shot.
Sexy way of like, maybe we should just stop talking. You know.
Whatever you say.
Exactly.
And he, like, does a little, like, hoot. Hoo-hoo-wee! Hey, can I get a couple shots of tequila for myself, please?
Bruh, couple.
Another Diet Pepsi. Bubba.
And he just takes the same can, he pours you that one in, and he just tops you off.
Thanks.
You see the promotional material for, like, the last Olympics, which was at least a couple years ago.
Eh,
It's fine. I feel like it has a hit if it's more expired. If it's closer to expiration.
Now, you ain't from around here. What you doing in a place like this?
I'm not from around here. What gave it away?
Well, anyone who comes in here's either got one of these or is riding someone who's got one of these.
And you don't think I
Riding their bike, I mean.
And you don't think I came with someone who rides that bike? A bike or whatever?
Well, see your friend over there. That jacket's got some colors, but it ain't the red one.
Oh. Maybe we
I'm just
stumbled.
assuming there's like a... I think you described there's a pride flag on one of your leather vests, I think, at some point.
This is the grungiest one, so it's like whatever patches he could find, but definitely one or two are various, like, pride flags from, like, possibly he found one or two patches from the actual, like, original pride marches, like, right after Stonewall.
Stonewall?
Very likely. He wasn't there, but he's definitely collected some of those.
No, you know what? It's not memorabilia from Stonewall. It's memorabilia from the donut riots that happened in California.
Very fair. Very fair.
They're not called the donut riots. They have a different name. I'm just forgetting the name of the business.
Hmm. Yeah. There's just a whole bunch of different patches, though. This is his oldest vest. It's got just, like, whatever the fuck he could find.
Well, obviously we're not from around here. Is that a problem? Paul, is it?
I mean, it ain't a problem with me.
I don't want to cause
Nah,
any-
no one here tonight's really doing much of anything. So if y'all behave yourself as guests in our place, then nothing will happen.
Behave? That's not really something I'm known for.
Well, you don't seem like you're here to cause trouble, or at least unwelcome trouble.
What kind of trouble is welcome here? Paul.
And he gestures over to a couple of friends, and you see this man and woman walk up. I'd like to introduce you to Jasmine. Jasmine, this is Daisy and Marcus. He goes by Marky, though.
Marky, Daisy, pleasure. Jasmine.
Daisy, why don't you tell our guests here what we did a couple nights ago to those college students who thought they were in for a bar crawl through this part of town? And then Daisy laughs a bit. Well, I hoisted him up with one hand, and I tossed him straight through that window right there. And you see the window has like a couple of pieces of tape over it.
Some newspaper.
Some shit,
Possibly done.
some
To talk.
snot-nosed brat came in here talking about macroeconomics, whatever that means.
Macroeconomics.
Liberal propaganda, that's what that is.
Yes, economics is liberal propaganda.
Those are way too smart words for me, Paul. I wouldn't be talking about that here either.
And then Marky speaks up. We don't appreciate condescension around here.
Yeah.
But you just here to have fun, or what?
You could say that. I'm looking for fun. What kind of fun does this place have?
Fighting, drinking, spitting contest one time. That was pretty fun. I won, actually.
Got a real wet mouth, right?
We were spitting tobacco.
I see. I see. And there was a quick moment that using my rapid reflexes, my face was like, ugh, but like they didn't catch it because of my rapid reflexes.
Yeah, the choice of the words "really wet mouth" was a lot.
Yep.
But we're actually heading out of here in about a couple of hours, so you kind of picked a bad night.
It's okay. I'm not in a hurry to go anywhere. Just gonna be here.
Yeah, where'd the young bloods head off to, Daisy? And she speaks up. They're eager to prove themselves and get out there, so they decided to take on this project that us old folks ain't allowed to know nothing about. Damn, kids need to respect their elders is what they need.
How old are all of you, if you don't mind me asking?
Why, God put me on this earth about 65 years ago at this point.
They're all younger than Aurora's real age, right?
I believe so. Right? Aurora's how old?
Aurora is pretty old. Let me see.
I feel like Aurora was turned in their 30s, right?
Let me see.
Is Dustin the baby here? Hold on.
She was turned. She was born in 1960, but she was turned when she was 29. So technically, she's like 62. So they're still older.
Yeah. Just a little bit. But you get the references that when they say stuff like that, what they're talking about. You hear one person joking about Hogan's Heroes, an old show.
I'd probably laugh at it, like I got it, because I, Glyza, do not know what the fuck is happening, but Aurora would.
It's Hogan's Heroes is certainly a show from an older time.
Cool.
It's at this point, DJ, that you managed to slip back through.
Cool. After I checked to make sure that neither of my coterie have died/killed anyone, I'm just gonna go straight out, like, to the car, because I plan to drop my invisibility for at least a second. So I'm just gonna, like, try and head out. And if I can do that without issue, I would like to I would like to text Dustin. Text the group chat and give them the information of everything that I've seen.
You do so, but you see a message first. And it's from Uma. I'm sorry for the suddenness of this, but by the time you see this text, Kareem and I are going to be gone. I know things are brewing in the city, but I'm needed in other places. Trust that I'm fighting the very things happening here elsewhere with Kareem as we speak. If you need help, here is a contact that can help you get in touch with some anarchs. Yours, Uma.
Text like she's writing a letter.
I'll sort of like smile a little bit to myself and then go, damn, girl, you sound official as shit. Handle your business. I'll see you soon. Just like, don't fucking worry about it. Motherfucker wrote me a soliloquy and shit. Wild.
You see the message is not sent as it says the number has been deactivated.
Well,
And I go,
She's going to
DJ is very unworried about it. He's like, Uma will make her back to us. Make her way back to us. Even if that is, you know, years from now. Yeah, it's fine. But yes, I will text everyone in the group chat and just word vomit all the things that I saw in there. And I'll also add act like y'all were waiting for me when I walk in.
Yeah. Would any of that, like, the amount of cash or any of that other information mean something different to one of us than it did to DJ? Like, instead of wave control,
I feel like you would all come to the same conclusion that, yeah, they're running the drug out of this. Like, they're at least in some part running the drug out of this place.
Okay.
I look at my phone.
Yeah, I mean, Dustin's gonna look at it.
So Dustin enters in at this point.
DJ.
Or DJ enters in at this point.
Yes,
Well, he does. Dustin's
DJ.
gonna. Hey.
Hey, what's going on? I'm sorry I'm late, man. That wedding took forever. Second reception and stuff. How's it going?
Consent, Aurora's gonna lean over and kiss DJ on the lips. With consent.
Hey, babe. How are you?
I was waiting for you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that a misty light?
It is actually.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen one of those in years. So what's up? What's the word? And I'll sort of like give the nod of acknowledgement to the person sitting next to Aurora, but I will otherwise not acknowledge him.
Yeah, you immediately sense like like, what the fuck is going on here? What? Excuse me, I was doing something. When you come in, and you feel all of their hopes shatter in an instant when the lip contact is made.
As it should be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll sit down next to Aurora. And once Dustin joins us, I'll say, like, out loud, because I'm trying to be subtle with the word choice, I'll say, so, are we gonna stay at this bar? Or are we going somewhere else? Do y'all still want to keep drinking here?
At this point, Paul has gotten up and is like, all right, well, I think my friends are calling me.
I didn't hear anybody, but bye.
And he goes over, and his friends start laughing at him.
I mean, I feel like Dustin is getting a little impatient with getting information. Would look at the other two and be like, well, I was hoping to meet more of these Hellrider guys. It looks like they said, all the young ones are out.
Oh,
he's gonna be a little bit loud about that. He's trying to get attention.
Is one of their bosses the younger ones? Like, there's a younger person that runs the whole gang. I'll say that also very purposefully out loud.
As you say that, like, you hear the squeaking of chairs on the wooden floor. Now, what the hell did I just hear over here? And another person comes up. And Bubba looks disapprovingly at you. Now, I told y'all not to start trouble. But this person comes over. And does the thing where they put their arms around you but lean on you to try and get your heads to go forward a little bit. What did I hear about us Hell Riders?
I wanted to know if you report to someone half your age, Grandpa. Maybe if you clean the wax out of your ears, you'll be able to hear me from your chair.
You did not
Aurora
just
is
fucking...
giggling on the side now.
You didn't say that, little shit. And he like goes to palm your head. Are you gonna stop him?
I will stop him with one finger and say, let me tell you how this is gonna work, Grandpa. You can either just tell me where I can find your boss, or I can put all of you motherfuckers in what essentially equates to a I've fallen on the floor and I can't get up commercial. The decision is yours.
He's getting upset at this. Roll me an intimidation, though.
Cool.
Charisma and intimidation.
Oh, charisma.
Dustin's gonna roll his eyes. I'm like, well, subtlety is over. But
yeah, he tried to grab my face, so he dies. Let's see.
He's
1,
giggling.
2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 successes.
Okay. Yeah. Boss, I mean, we don't have a boss. We're just a social group.
Right. Who can I talk to that would definitely not be your boss then?
Wait here a second. And he goes over to the other group and he talks with them in the hushed whispers, and then one of them do come out.
If I could really quick while they're talking, just to DJ. So I kind of had a thought of trying to join them, but that's out the window. So we're just gonna ask him straight up about the drugs. Is that the plan?
I'm gonna ask the leader about a couple of things if I could talk to him, and we'll see how it goes.
Sounds good.
We're just like separate people, me and you, right? You're like the planner guy. I'll be honest, I don't really have a plan, but I know we do need to talk to the leader. So
I just want to know how to back you up. It's all right.
For sure, we're on the same page. All good.
One comes out and he has the same jacket as everyone else, but his looks like a little older. You see the red stitching on the back has become faded a little bit with age. And he's got studs on over the shoulders, and the sleeves are torn at about the 3/4 length. Now, I've been in the gang the longest, so what's this I hear about you sending old Pussyfoot over there, tail between his legs?
Yeah.
We just wanted to, well, first of all, introduce myself. My name's DJ. Nice bar you got. I had a couple questions for you, if you could find time in your schedule for it.
Well, I'll see if I want to answer them, won't I?
Yeah, that's how questions work. Yeah.
All right, wise ass. Give me your questions.
So, table question. What do we want to ask this guy?
Who's moved into that one building? How many there are?
Why do you have
What's
drugs?
their deal? Honestly, now that Dustin knows that, he assumes that he's working directly for the Man in Black. He just wants. So I'm like, I would like to just know where that guy is and how we can stab him in the face.
I hear that you are the person that I should talk to if I want to know something about a particular halfway house and who recently moved there, let's say.
Halfway house. Oh, you mean, and he mentions like the vague address of the place you guys all got?
Mm-hmm.
That's what this shit is about?
It's question 1.
Question 1. Well, all right, I'll indulge you. Yeah, we got we had control of that place, and a certain bidder came to go ahead and take it off our hands.
I may have some business to handle with that bidder. If you'd be interested in a trade, the name for something I can help you with.
Something you can help me with.
Yeah, actually.
That's quite a claim there. All right, what are you running?
Well, you definitely haven't heard of me. I work behind the scenes normally. The question is, don't you need a new distributor? We won't talk
Where
about
the-
for what.
We're the distributors. I'm asking you, what are you selling?
No. I'm talking about something you distribute that the production has stalled on recently. I'd imagine you got a bunch of product probably in the back that you're still trying to move. I'm very big in the music business. I can suddenly make your drug the newest trend. And then every white kid in the suburbs will be trying to get their hands on it because they heard it in their favorite song.
Oh, you're trying to sell. You're trying to sell fizzy.
I'm trying to make a trade and offering what I think you're interested in. You got product I haven't seen on the streets for a while?
Oh, we. Don't worry, we just got plenty of fizzy. Now, if you're trying to muscle in on that, that's a whole nother story. Because as far as
Doesn't have
we
very
know,
little patience. I'm sorry.
oh, what's Dustin gonna? You can cut him off here.
He's gonna be like really not patient with this back and forth. It's like, look, he can make it that your fizzy is more valuable to every dumb kid you can double charge. That's the offer. Straight up and down, yes or no. Give us the information or not.
I'm gonna need see some scratch for that. How you gonna do this? How you gonna sell this shit better than we can?
Well, if I told you that, I wouldn't have anything to bargain with.
Make a persuasion check with charisma as well.
Cool.
I don't know if there's a help mechanic, but I don't think Dustin will be super good at it.
Do you have proficiency in any sort of persuasion?
Not. I have like 1 dot in persuasion. That's about it.
I will allow you to gain 1 additional dot, DJ.
Okay, cool.
This is why. I
Hey,
said
it was
he's
a crit.
impatient
Thank
and he's
you.
not good at that. Hey!
So with the crit from Dustin, that brings me to 6 successes. I rolled 4 of my own volition. My persuasion's not as good as my intimidation.
Well,
Same though.
if you want to know what's going on in that halfway house, you really should consider that before you make any more talking out of your ass. That house is where we're getting the fizzy from right now. Our old haunt has come back and with great supply. We've moved so much already. Oh boy, we got all of our young'uns out there. Most of them out dealing, but a few of them doing some other stuff.
That
If you
makes
want
sense.
to talk more shop about this, I'll have to ask you to come back tomorrow. As we got some business to attend to on for this very same reason.
Well, there's no need for me to come back tomorrow if we can settle this tonight. You give me the name of the people or person who bought that house space off of you, and our deal will be good to go.
Information's cheap, sure. Talk is cheap. You heard of the man in black, I'm assuming, if you know what Fizzy is.
Once or
Yeah,
twice.
he runs out of there right now. And he's got a big old operation. Apparently, he brought up an entire cadre of an LA gang up here.
Huh. Interesting. And you wouldn't happen to know this man in black's name, would you?
But I don't even know your name. DJ is an occupation.
You know, you're actually the first person who's connected those dots, so props to you at the very least.
Desmond's like, I just assumed it was like Don Jones or something.
Possibly. Who
Tom
knows?
Jones, actually. It's not unusual.
God almighty. DJ will say, well, it sounds like you are too busy this evening to trade anything else with us, so I'll extend a hand. Good talking with you.
I expect to see you back tomorrow for working out these specifics, huh?
Yeah. And I'll hand him a card that is the same card that one of the same cards that I gave to Aurora, although slightly less ostentatious. There's no green question mark on the back, and it's not holographic, but it's printed on the same card type, and it has a link to my business, or not a link. It's got my business number written on it.
Got it. We're gonna close out the scene on the bar unless there's anything anyone wants to do, information-wise.
I mean, I don't feel like we got the information we needed, but I don't know that they got much more.
You got vague information. You would get an estimate that there's about 24 people in the halfway house underneath the direct control of the man in black. I almost called him the Black Knight.
Yeah. I'm not saying to continue the scene, just it's...
What else did
Dustin is mildly unhappy.
what else did Dustin think we were getting out of coming here? I thought what we got
Number
was,
of floors, what their guns are like. He wants
Again.
tactical information. He was ready to stab someone repeatedly for it.
No one's gonna have that info, though, is the thing. Only Kindred think like that, you know? And he's got a bunch of human mercs, and these are human pushers as well.
So we're gonna quickly go to break, everyone. Hope you'll join us again in about 5 or 10 minutes time, really quick, when we come back. As the party is information, the question is what are they gonna do with it? As it seems that something is happening tonight, but they are not sure what.
Bye.
And hello, everyone. Welcome back, and thank you for sticking around after the break. The party finds out that there's something going down tonight, and that the man in black has come back in force. The question is, what are they doing next? As you...
Oh, sorry.
No, you all mentioned you wanted to quickly feed before you do anything for the rest of the evening. Each of you, if you who is feeding, just roll me a quick d10. And don't critically fail, please.
I mean, Dustin may not actually feel as compelled just because he's not normally someone who likes to feed off of people. It's really more of a convenience
Dustin
thing.
actually...
Also someone...
The d10 is to see if you have a bag with you.
Okay.
I have a success.
Got it?
I got a crit.
Perfect.
I
Okay.
rolled a 4, so no, I do not.
No. You have a bag. You're fine. You just needed to not roll a 1, and each of you managed to feed. DJ, for rolling a success, do you want to? You can choose any one of the 4 residences to have for this next. For this evening.
I'd love choleric, please and
Great.
thank you.
In addition, because it is a crit, you're also going to get one of the random perks you can gain when when imbibing a specific type of choleric blood. One time during the rest of this evening, you have the option of adding an additional 2 dice to any physical pool.
Sick.
There you go.
I'd like to think that the scene is Aurora and DJ have done their thing and lured some kind into like an alleyway or something. Wherever it is, Dustin is sitting out front. He has like cut open the corner of a bag and he has it just hanging out of his mouth, sucking on it like a Capri Sun.
You jab
he's
in
texting.
the little Capri Sun straw into your blood bag.
As much as that's the big joke, I think he resents that a little bit. He always cuts the corner off with his knife and just
Got
out
it.
of that. But that's definitely the jokes, for sure. But no, the important part is he's texting Licinia and his contacts and the half-bloods or the thin bloods that he trusts, and whatever like Bones uses as an assistant, because imagine Bones does not have a cell phone, but like someone else amongst the hunters that's not like please help, but more of a something big going down related to the kind attacks. Keep your guard up. Just like give him a warning.
Well, the thing is, your Bones' assistant. You know how to get
Whoever
in
takes his
contact.
calls.
You know how to get in contact with Bones. You just have to basically. You just got to go to their apartment.
Then whatever way I would send him a message, probably like a letter or something, because he's that old school. I'll ask Licinia to like write that and drop it off, because I don't want her to interact with him, but I do want to give him a warning.
Got it. And you do so. Licinia texts you just like a done because their reliability score is very good. You. What do you want the Thin Bloods to do? Do you want them to come and assist you in whatever happens?
Well, that's a conversation that the characters need to have, but his first text is just going to be heads up so that they don't get like, they don't go feeding on some kind that maybe are drugged up and then get hurt, because especially they are vulnerable to that sort of thing.
Definitely. And now the three of you are in the car, just driving through the streets. What are your next plans?
Well, go ahead.
I think you're muted.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Tate.
Yeah.
You I can hear. Oh,
Sorry, battery died there for a second.
there you go.
But yeah, so Desmond would say, well, I got a plan for how to handle this, but probably could use a little input.
Go for it.
All right, so the way I figure it, we did the Valkyries and whoever else we can scratch up to attack this building from the front. Possibly Aurora, you might be better served there, because if you can get them to stand down without us having to shoot the whole place up, that'll avoid us having to pay the cops off.
Yep.
And then me and DJ, and maybe if we can get someone else who's combat oriented, we jump on the top of this building from whatever's close by and go in the back and try and gank the man black.
Seems pretty cut and dry to me.
Sounds good.
Only question is, who do we call to help back us up?
That is a pretty good question. Most of the people that I know in this city are not really going to be worth a fight, but we do have a lot of money to pay people.
Yeah. I could ask Bones to come back us up, but one, I don't know if he'll play nice with the Valkyries, and two, that's a man that does not understand how phones work and might be hard to get a hold of. Like, we'd have to go there.
Sure.
I'm completely new to this place and I have no connections. My only connection is in Torpor. So,
That's-
Fair,
Not fully true.
oh, is
In
that?
these 6 months, Aurora, you were told of someone by your sires when they came that if you ever needed the help of the Camarilla, you could go and talk to you can go and talk to this person. This was this person was named Darius, and they are a large Middle Eastern person in a nice suit. They are a Ventru, and they're in town on business, sanctioned by the prince, or the premier, but they are here, and they are very closely tied to the Camarilla.
And my sires have told me that I can reach out to them should I need any assistance. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes.
I
If you
see.
need the help from the Camarilla, and the Camarilla would be happy to help, probably.
I see. It is a very important situation that I think would really help us. And I know that there's a chance that our Valkyries will work well with the Camarilla. I can contact them if you'd like.
I mean, it's kind of a all hands on deck situation, I guess, so be helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I could
So
ask the
players.
premier since we're working for them, but how do we feel about that?
Look, I just want this man dead, or at least captured. And I feel like if we have everybody on our side, it might just work.
There is one thing you have to consider, and that is, one, Camarilla and Anarchs will not get along. So that is a choice you have to make. Two, mortals and most kindred will probably not get along. The Valkyries are an exception with the Premier and whoever they can muster, because they are aware of who the Valkyries are due to Malcolm. And three, the Premier would probably not be happy with many agents of another kindred faction entering as well. So you have to consider this almost like picking allegiance. Where are you drawing your help from? And what will that mean in the aftermath of whatever is about to happen?
So I think that either way, people are going to want something out of this help, right? But I think that at least the Anarchs won't be as sneaky about it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the Anarchs are going to be like, this is what we want in exchange for helping you. And the people at the Camarilla will be like, we'll talk about it later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we did get the job from the premier.
And we do have a guaranteed in into the Camarilla. Just saying.
When it comes to
You do.
loss that we might receive, I feel like asking from the Camarilla with my connections would have the most minimal of consequences or things that we have to give up for.
I mean, I would hope so, but we can try it. It definitely, going through the Camarilla definitely has a higher success rate. Daddy, I'm definitely sure about that, but and then DJ's phone will sort of buzz, and I'll look at it and squint for a second and go, it's you've seen DJ do this many times before, Aurora. It's just some work text, and he deletes it, and he goes, oh shit, I didn't tell y'all. Uma sent me this, and I'll show them the text message. And the text message basically was saying that she had a through line through the Anarchs. So we could do either or. It really comes down to, do we want help from the Camarilla or do we want help from the Anarchs?
In
Well,
addition, you all remember the Premier's the person who put you on this trail in the first place. If you wanted to try and get help through there, and also you don't think it would be terribly difficult to do that as well. There's also the fourth option of, if you all can muster your own allies well enough, and this will be very difficult to do, there could be room for you all to gain power.
I just don't know how many guns we can get together outside of the Valkyries.
Malcolm's Trust had quite a lot of munitions. Not even just to be able to purchase. You would find access to many sets of guns just through whatever property Malcolm had.
Actually, I have a thought. Dustin's like, hey, I don't know which one we pick. I'm almost more inclined to try and muster the guns herself, but I'm gonna make sure the cops don't get interested if that rings everyone's fancy, unless you want to call them. But Dustin kind of makes a wrinkled face, like,
You do know that the cops are pretty heavily into the Premier's pocket, and that's like that.
Yeah.
20 minutes at minimum of response time is a buffer built in for Kindred.
Well, I would like to remind you that Malcolm had me kill a guy for the police.
Sure did.
Yep.
So that was my plan, is call up, using Malcolm's contacts, that particular like chief, and be like, hey, I need you to have a slower than normal reaction time to this. I killed a dude for you. Like, call in that effectively.
And you could do so. Would you like to telephone this person now?
Yeah, it's like, hey, you two decide between the two. I think Aurora's right, as well as DJ. I'm inclined to pick a third option of ourselves, but you guys figure that out. I mean, we're just gonna make sure we don't get interrupted. And he is gonna...
You open Malcolm's little, like, contact book from the 50s, essentially, and you see a small little scribble.
It's too old to be a Rolodex. It's definitely a book. Like a little leather notebook.
Exactly. And you see it starts out like, okay, this is Sergeant, whatever, and then it's crossed out, it says Captain, then it says Commissioner, and then it's just like, the cop. As they've clearly been elevated to a point that, like, Malcolm doesn't know what their rank is anymore.
Yeah, Dustin's gonna call him up.
How did you get this number? Who is this?
This is one of Malcolm's friends. We met in the high-rise when your lieutenant took a little tumble.
Right. I'm assuming you're calling me on behalf of your employer?
Exactly. I just wanted to let you know, down in Midtown at insert correct address, it's going to be a little ruckus. I need your guys to be a little slower than normal.
All right. Just normal arrangement then.
Absolutely.
Which you'll deal with that later.
Yeah. I think that Dustin is not sure exactly what that normal arrangement is. So he says, absolutely. Oh, and also, if you could also be a little slow in telling the others like me, because he assumes this guy also is getting some amount of paycheck from the Camarilla. It'd be greatly appreciated.
Not the Camarilla in this city. No, Camarilla don't have a presence here.
Sorry, not the Camarilla, the Premier.
Yes.
And their organizations. Like, you'd be a little slower to them. I'm not saying don't. I don't want you to compromise any of that. Just,
We'll have to discuss
a little sluggish on the
additional.
uptake.
We'll have to discuss additional reimbursement, but yes.
You're a reasonable man. And, definitely hang up.
With that dealt with, there's only one thing left. Who do you all turn to? Or do you turn to anyone at all?
I personally think that leaning towards the Anarchs is the better idea. This is going, this event, regardless of how well we do it, is going to cause trouble and shake things up. And those are two things that, in my experience, the Camarilla does not like. So if they go out of their way to cause a power imbalance, there's gonna be some fucking read between the lines ass fine print that's gonna come along with it, and I would rather just have an Anarch looking to rip my head off personally.
And GM, if I may ask, I know part of my sort of backstory and reputation is that Anarchs understand that I'm at least more fair than most of the people who enforce the rules. So I'd assume that they're not they don't hate Dustin at the very least.
No, I don't think
He's
any of
worked
you
with them
have.
before.
I don't think any of you have any particularly of a sour reputation with the Anarchs.
Then if
In,
most of us are in agreement with the Anarchs, I am completely fine with just another option to use as a backup, just in case.
Honestly, or you might need to lean on some of your contacts to see if we can't get away with doing this without too much backlash on the other side. There's going to be consequences to this, like DJ said, no matter which way we go.
Understood. My daddies will take care of it.
Perfect.
Then too, JJ, you want to do the honors?
Oh, please. Okay. And I'm going to go through my phone to get the contact info that Uma sent, and try and connect with those people.
you are not actually given a number. You're given a place to go to.
Sick.
All
I'll
right.
type the direction
start
into the GPS.
Your global positioning software takes you all the way to. This isn't Europe. There is no red light district, but you definitely get to a row of buildings that are for the nightlife, to say the least. A place that you're familiar with, DJ.
I have to imagine that DJ puts it into the GPS and Dustin is argues with the right path to go with the GPS a little bit the whole way there.
Yeah, definitely.
This isn't the
Like-
best way to go.
The GPS is definitely trying to take you down some alleys that, are one ways, and if anyone's coming the other way, it's going to take you 5 minutes to untangle.
This is a GPS in a car in 2012. This does not know where it's going yet.
Not at all. But you find yourselves in front of a little club called the Stirrup, which, as you know, DJ, is because you know every club in this town. This is a queer bar. Actually, Dustin might have even come here at some point for leisure. It's like a leather bar. It's a queer leather bar, essentially.
Far more my style. Let's go.
As you all enter, you're in clothes that are pretty appropriate. Maybe
I was gonna say.
maybe just a gimp mask for DJ, and you'd all fit in really well. But you go
I
inside.
unfortunately don't have one of those on me, so.
Yeah, unfortunately. They're passing them out like party favors at the door. I'm done. But you go inside, and the music begins to start bumping. It is definitely a club.
Mhm.
And as you go into the back, you're sat down in front of a person who, DJ, you recognize from the information. This is one of the not disciple's the wrong word. And none of you had met Uma's sire, but you've heard of them. Uma's sire is a drag queen from Los Angeles.
Hmm.
You are sitting in front of not in drag right now, but you are sitting in front of a very manicured and meticulously put person. They are a kindred like you all, and you recognize that's a Toreador. Interesting for anarchs.
Hmm.
Well, what can I do for you, darlings?
Hi.
Oh.
We are.
I
Go
think I
ahead.
know your names. You are Dustin, DJ, and Aurora. Yes, I have heard of you. I am Augustus.
Nice to meet you.
A pleasure.
Charmed.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, we're friends of Uma's, as you probably also know, and that very important thing that she let you know about is kind of coming to roost this evening. So if we could get any backup that's available, that'd be great.
So you need to
Also,
do
anyone
rabble
who's not
rouse.
here for backup. Probably something a little more like people who know how to handle a gun, to be fair.
Oh, honey, I know my way around firearm.
Of course.
I've had more than my fair share of run-ins with the long arm of the law. If you know what I mean.
Never meant to imply you didn't. Just mean don't send us some kids who go to a riot.
If you want the anarchs, don't worry. We know how to throw down. But my only question is, what are we throwing down for? I need some information before I risk some of our people.
I mean, Dustin will look to you two if you want to take more of this conversation because he's not good at this sort of thing.
I'll say, you know, this is something I think anybody of our proclivities, sexualities could relate to, but someone did great harm to one of ours, and that will not stand. Specifically, a Mr. Duvernay, if Uma ever mentioned him to you.
Oh, I believe I've heard of this Duvernay, and let's just say his presence in the city is sorely lacking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it's going to keep on for a while.
we'd be happy to help, but I will need a little bit of assistance from you all. You all are, from what I've heard, gotten it a little good with the court here. Better than most, at least. A working relationship with the Premier is very hard to establish. So if you could, say, grease the wheels a little bit, or lube us up so we can get in there nice and tight with the Premier.
Yeah. I think that'll be, I don't want to say easy enough to arrange, but arrangeable.
Excellent. Then, and they're like, they've moved on from this as they've seemed like they're satisfied with your end of the bargain. I think we'll arrange that. Let's say a dozen hopefuls plus some ghouls to go along and manage whatever chaos unfolds.
It'd be very appreciated.
And
And
I'll go personally to make sure they behave themselves.
I mean, Dustin's not gonna contradict Uma's sire, but still, like, definitely, like,
This is not
okay.
Uma's sire.
Oh, all right.
This is someone else.
Ah, okay. It's like, all right. You're not worried of mixing it up a little. I won't tell you otherwise, but anyone who's not going to be there, you probably want to warn them that things might go bad tonight.
Oh,
Not
honey,
just
I
where
was
we're
there
going to be at.
I was there at Stonewall. I've been there for every big thing.
Just don't corner any kind tonight, all right?
Interesting. All right. If you say so. Now, Tata, I've got to get my outfit ready for this little scrum.
By your leave.
And almost like a blur, the three of you are spat out from this sweaty club back into the front.
It sounds like there's nothing left to do but get ready, huh?
Yeah. As painful as that was, I think we got what we needed.
I believe so.
It wasn't that bad. Myself quite enjoyed the lube jokes.
You would
Well-
enjoy jokes, Dustin.
Well, lube aside, anybody else need anything from the manor, or are we gonna wait for the all-ready signal from our reinforcements and get in position?
At this point, I think all we need from the manor is the Valkyries and all the guns they can carry.
I too would like to visit the manor before we go.
Well, then we'll go tell them in person then if you got something to get.
So, you all muster back at the manor. The Valkyries in front of you, armed to the teeth. They are wearing body armor, military grade. They each have a rifle in hand. We are ready to deploy.
Dozen will stand in front of him and say, Aurora is going to be leading you. Listen to what she says and how we're going to take this. Your main goal is to distract the majority of their forces for us to go around behind.
The mission is
We're ready.
distraction, not
Mm-hmm.
kill.
That
Try
being
to
said, I'm not going to try it.
turn off the hurt as much as possible.
Hmm.
I mean, put yourselves first, of course, ladies, but, you know, let's do a little kindness.
They look at each other and they're like nodding amongst themselves. You see a pair of them like pull on medical kits as backpacks and throw it over their shoulders just in case.
Mm-hmm. And I would like to pick the three largest vehicles that we have for them to drive. And sort of,
yeah.
You can sort of, like, the most bulletproof ones that they can just put up as, like, a barrier to be behind when this all goes down.
3 carbon fiber vans have been procured for this exact reason. And when I'm talking about vans, I'm talking about, like, long vans. You look inside and there's no seats, it's just the bus-style, like, stirrups you grab onto from the ceiling.
Okay.
These are, like, police vehicles that have been... Riot police vehicles that have been bought and then repainted and repurposed.
Mm-hmm.
These withstand a lot of danger. And they are en route.
I think the last thing Dustin says then is, oh, and you're going to have some backup. It's going to be a little unconventional and very Kindred. behave yourselves, and they should too.
Okay. You get a text, or no, you're on the manor. You see Lucina is standing there with about the 24 thin bloods that you have in your little network, as well as the rowing team. She jogs up to you. Do you want us to join in with this? We can go in there.
Well, I have a question on how battle-centered do I find these thin bloods?
It's a mixed bag, right? Some of them grew up fighting, and some of them have had to because of what they are. But they're also still empowered. They have some of the benefits of being a kindred. Some of that includes mending and things like that.
I just mean more like not every kindred is built to fight things.
No. You do know that firearms affect thin bloods like they do mortals. So they can't... They're not going to sit there and absorb bullets. But they're still faster and stronger than most mortals.
I do think there's a little bit of sentimentalism for Dustin. He's like, look, I think you guys can help. I don't want you on the front lines.
I mean, we can help with support from behind.
Yeah, no, that's fair, especially keeping people, civilians and innocents out of the way. This is probably going to get very messy.
Sounds good to me. And Lucina loads them all up into... They can't fit all on Lucina's motorbike, so she just gets a lot. She's like, what car did Malcolm have that can fit all them? And you find the stretch limo that's almost never used.
That seems
and
fair.
all of them pile in the stretch limo with various like handguns and other weaponry, like things like that.
And park it like half a block away. That thing is not bulletproof, and I don't have to pay to paint it.
Yeah. And she just gives you a thumbs up as she drives off. She definitely peels off on purpose with the limo.
In the stretch.
I wonder if this thing can drift, you know that she's saying in her mind.
I'm gonna have to pay to paint that thing before it even gets there. Alright. I guess it's like the three of us. Just, so you guys ready?
As ready as I'm gonna get.
So remind me the plan. The Valkyries
sorry.
are going to... Oh,
Sorry,
okay,
I
go.
do want to do a scene where Aurora goes to visit Malcolm, but like in the room where he's like holed up in, like in torpor or whatever.
Mhm.
Sort of
Go
like stands there for like maybe 5-10 minutes. And Aurora's quiet. But if anybody had paid attention to what she looked like at that time, her eyes seemed like they were moving underneath her eyelids. But other than that, no sound, nothing. After the 15-minute mark, she stops and then just gets up and gets ready to go.
Okay. Remind me the plan. The Valkyries are going to go in the front, initiate this attack as a diversion. The Anarchs are going to assist them, but be the ones mostly dealing with the threats. The Thin Bloods are going to help from the back line, like doing whatever they're going to do. And you all are going to sneak in during the chaos to go and fight the Man in Black alone.
Mostly. I was gonna, and Glyza, it's up to you, but I feel like Aurora is better served being in front with the Valkyries, and it's less attack and more like demand that the Man in Black steps forward like a distraction. Like, hey, we're here to negotiate, when in fact, that is not the case.
Yeah.
It is
So you want to split.
DJ and
Yeah,
Dustin,
pretty much.
It's DJ and Dustin who are actually going in the back as the two who like know how to fight and would not be mad if our new friend stuck in the back with us, Augustus.
Augustus will probably be with the Anarchs.
Fair.
Okay. You get there, and you're preparing. Is there anything any of you say to each other before this goes off?
DJ is humming a song that's not released yet, and says, "So hey, if we don't die, I finally refurbished the not refurbished. I finally got an actual haven. If we want to change the scenery for the celebration party."
I trust you to throw a better party than anything I could make in the mansion, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, don't die. That'd be really
That'd be a bummer.
boring. Yeah, that'll be a bummer. Stay alive, and I'll fucking like rack the barrel of consequences after I say that.
I think as this is
Okay.
happening, Dustin's putting all the flame tongue rounds back in this very odd shotgun. Just like, that was a plan. And as he slaps the spinner back in, says, "Hey, and if I do, this is the thing. Like, I want to be clear to you, DJ. This is the thing to use. This is for the man in black. It's not going to work much afterwards. I got his number right here."
I am going to keep that in mind. I'm glad you're holding it because I plan to eat that bitch.
Hey, just don't do it if he's on fire. Holsters it into like sort of
Probably slow me
long-side
down a
holster on
bit,
his
yeah.
side.
So, I'm gonna need rolls. For the Valkyries, Aurora.
Yep.
If you would roll for me four dice because of their rating score. They are a 4-dot perk that was purchased a long time ago.
By Malcolm. Man, Fox ain't
Correct.
even in this campaign. He's the reason we're gonna win.
How much did you get?
3.
3 successes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For the Anarchs, if you would roll, thanks to Uma's 3 dots in influential, as well as 2 dots in that. Or no, yeah. Roll me 5 D10s, D.
Okay.
So that's 3.
D or- D,
D.
or
DJ.
Gotcha. What am I rolling?
5 dice for the Anarchs.
Okay, Pride Parade, let's go. That is 5 dice. That would be 7 successes. Took me a long time to do that fucking math. Unless they cannot bestial success. In which case it would be 5 successes.
Yeah, it's only 5 successes.
Okay.
Now for the Thin Bloods, we're gonna roll your total of your contacts, which is 2, and your benefit from Lucina. So that's roll 3 dice for just the Thin Bloods as an assistance.
I assume you mean Dustin.
Yeah, for Dustin.
All right, well that's 3 successes actually, a 9, a 9, and an 8.
So that's
God bless
10,
you.
or that's 11 total successes.
Let's
If
go.
my math is correct.
The dice gods
no
want to
idea.
give us our revenge.
All right. And I'm rolling 8 dice for the collection of criminals that has been gathered by Harmon. Two, 3, 4. That's only 4 successes. So,
I'd honestly be kind
describe
of
now.
mad if they somehow won that interaction with 8 dice, like legit. I would be angry.
No. It was just to determine how successful, and that is a lot of degrees of success.
Hmm.
So, the plan initiates without a hitch. Aurora, you're out there in front. What are you saying specifically to the Valkyries as this attack initiates?
Okay, so basically the plan is to make sure that the humans that are in the building are out of the way. The main point is to keep them safe, sort of, but also not at the expense of the Valkyries themselves. I want them to keep people safe, but to be selfish. That is what I'm ordering for the but the main point is to like distract, bring them out so that only Kindred are in the back in their fighting.
Malcolm was a wartime tactician.
Yep.
And the Valkyries have been trained very, very well. They come up with a strategy, and it initiates. Immediately, 3 Valkyries run up, and they begin laying down fire. No one is actually killed in this initial burst, but they immediately begin to retreat. As they do, a whole... almost like a droplet of water, as it splashes, this impact causes its own splash to come up as a shockwave. As tons of these gang members begin to rush out of this building, the Valkyries begin to lay fire down. This is when the Anarchs act. As they come in at the perfect moment, they rush in alongside and they begin to just start attacking and brawling, getting in close with these people. You do see Augustus, who in this moment is in full drag, riding on top of a very pink chariot, being pulled by a pair of Kindred who are on all fours. She just has a baseball bat filled with nails, and she just begins to swipe and brains a person with it as they are knocked out immediately. As this is going on, injured people are like, you see Thin Bloods jump in, pull injured people back. They have like some of them have been carry bags of blood and feed them to other Kindred. And they have made a perimeter, and they're essentially just picking off people who are trying to run. Aurora, you've managed to, with the help of the Valkyries, push up right to the front of the building. Like, you're right in front of the doors, and there's no danger around you right now. Dustin and DJ, give me both a dexterity and stealth roll from each of you.
And I assume I would have a chance to put my
activate any
fleetness
domains and
and
disciplines you want to use.
Cool.
I ain't got none.
Oh, actually, excuse me. I realized that I misspoke. What I'm using is not fleetness. It's the reflexes one.
Rapid reflex.
Yes, rapid reflexes.
Rapid reflexes is only for cover from fire.
No, that rapid reflexes enhances my reflexes to be cat-like and supernatural. So when I say that I'm using it in conjunction with my sense the unseen, I'm saying I'm using those reflexes to like pull away from something the instant that it would touch me and break my stealth, etc., etc. I realize I said no. I apologize. That's not completely correct. In combat, though, you are correct. It's only used for dodging attacks. But as far as the narrative of the scene, that's I'm not gonna. Fleetness won't be active when I'm doing combat.
I only got one success. Dustin doesn't have any of that fancy stuff.
Got it. How many
That is
successes
fair.
did you get, DJ?
Well, the first thing that happens is I gain 2 hunger because I rolled a critical failure on my blood dice.
That's only one hunger.
So I get 1 hunger. And then we're gonna roll 8 dice. That's actually not a great roll. 1, 2, 3.
Interesting.
Man, hopefully Aurora's distraction is very distracting.
Which we will roll for in a second.
That is only 5 successes.
5 successes? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Aurora, go ahead
Okay.
and give me that charisma and performance, with any bonuses you have from being stunning and from the presence set of traits.
Charisma, and then what was the other one?
Performance, I believe.
Okay. And then
That seems fair.
7. Okay. All right. So that's 7 dice. And I get 6 successes.
6 successes. Okay.
Because I got crits. But according to this,
Damn.
yeah, it says 6 successes. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
All right. You manage to, like, essentially draw out every single gang member to begin fighting in this courtyard, essentially. The man in black does not come out. DJ and Dustin, you manage to, using your kindred abilities, scale the fire escape in the back and get up to the second floor of this building and kick your way through a window. Yeah. It is, you hear the commotion outside. Aurora, do you enter the building yet? Your path is open.
I enter at that time when I'm pretty sure that the Valkyries don't need any more assistance, and it feels like the plan is going well. I enter into the front.
Yeah. You turn around and you see that it's pretty decisive. Like, people are getting injured, obviously. It's a battle. But you get the feeling that the collection of people you've gathered are at least overwhelming them because you have gathered more than they had.
Mm-hmm.
You do spot, like, Augustus take a couple of bullets. Like, they're fine, they're still up, but they're bleeding. You see a couple of Valkyries who have been injured. There's even a couple of Thinbloods who accidentally got caught in the crossfire while trying to offer support. But you enter with a couple of Valkyries who go in with you just to make sure you're safe, and they're quickly busy keeping whoever's left inside busy. The 3 of you meet when Aurora, when you go upstairs to continue entering this building. You spot the 2 of them as they climb in. The 3 of you are together at this point, and the battle is going on outside.
Dustin's definitely like, I appreciate the backup, but the point was to have you not. All right, whatever. And he draws his knife and his handgun, and he's trying to have both of those out to deal with anyone who is not a kindred on the way up there.
And
So just stay behind me.
no rolls necessary, as all 3 of you are capable of dispatching anyone left. As you enter this last room that you have not cleared yet on this floor, you kick in the door and you see the man in black stressing, like they visibly sweating. A pair of one member of the Hellraisers and one member of the LA gang alongside. When you open the door, they quickly pull out their own gun that they had, a simple firearm. It doesn't look like it has anything special with it. You should have fucking known it was you all.
So Man in Black says?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you should have, dickhead. What, you thought that shit was just gonna slide?
Now,
Dustin
Go
actually is
ahead.
going to talk to the 2, I assume, Kine, and just, we don't want you. Put the guns down and leave.
You're gonna roll a persuasion, charisma, against his manipulation and intimidation.
May I do intimidation charisma? Pretty please.
Yeah. I'll so it'll be an intimidation off.
I am not great at this, but you know what?
I believe in you.
That is 3 successes out of the possible 4.
See?
As you say this, he
There's
says,
no way I beat him.
motherfuckers, if you leave, I'll hunt down your fucking families. And he points the gun on one of them. And then, like, as he's pointing the gun at one of them, the other one leaves. He just runs away.
Shit! Just
There's
like,
the gun pointed at him.
don't.
And he
Man
points the
says,
gun.
just don't mind me. Just gonna.
As the other one runs away, he points his gun at him and shoots him a couple times, and now we're gonna go into combat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let
If there's something I
party
could
act
do-
first.
Yeah. I guess if it's the first turn, Dustin's actually gonna kind of like put his handgun away or drop it if I need to, like I don't have time. And I would love to use Scorpion's Touch.
Yeah. Okay, so you ditch your handgun. You have the Scorpion's Touch. What does that do for the audience?
So this makes my blood acidic and poisonous. And what I'd like to do, and GM, tell me if this tickles your fancy, is he's gonna basically swap the knife to his right hand because he does it left when he has a handgun, and he's gonna drag that across his exposed forearm, and it's a rouse check to like put my blood on something, but also if I am allowed, because I can technically do multiple rouse checks and make multiple doses in a single action, I'd like to also bite my tongue real hard and get a little bit of that poison blood in my mouth for spitting at the same time. It's like sort of a distract, like so that other people don't know I'm doing it, I guess.
Okay. And you're gonna
I'd like to make 2 doses.
Yeah.
One on my
So
knife
you,
and one in my mouth.
So that's gonna be 2 rouse checks because you do 1 per dose, right?
Yeah, I just can do both of them at the same time. It says I
Yes.
can like make as many doses as possible.
Go
I'm
ahead.
just trying to find where rouse checks are on this sheet because I have forgotten. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, they're at the bottom, I believe, of hunger.
I have 1 success and 1 failure.
You get 1 hunger more.
All right. Thankfully, we already ate, so it's only 2. Yeah. And I don't know if I can do anything else, but Dustin's definitely going to run at the man in black, specifically just with the knife. He's like, I got your number this time, motherfucker.
Okay. So you're gonna go ahead and do dexterity melee against him, correct?
Yeah, I just don't know how the rules work if I'm allowed to both do that and then also attack him.
Let's do the melee attack first, and then we'll resolve any additional effects.
Okay.
Right? That makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
As you
Just
go
I
in
didn't
to
know if
attack
I'm
him,
allowed to swing at him and do this at the same time.
I'll allow it as all a part of one action. As you go in swinging for him, though, you see him immediately activates whatever domain of his own. There, you see, it almost looks like his... You see Vitae moving underneath his veins as they seem to collect and pool around the arms.
Mm-hmm.
He is
Well, heaven help
juiced
him,
up on
'cause I
something.
got 5 successes and 2 of them were crits, and I don't know how that works, but does that make that 6 or 7?
I believe that makes them 7. Okay. So he
Perfecto.
rolls 4 from there.
Doesn't sound like you're about to stab a guy.
4 from there. Okay. It's unlikely he will be able to resist. 2, 3, 4. He got 4 successes. So subtracted. So you have a 3 success margin on him. Which does... How much damage does that do, I believe?
The knife is a +1, and then there's a whole extra side thing with Scorpion's Touch.
Okay, so you're going to do... Subtracting with that. The knife itself does 3 superficial damage to him right now. Now the scorpion damage. How much is that?
So he needs to do a stamina plus occult or stamina plus fortitude if he has fortitude, like any dots in fortitude.
He's got fortitude
checks him,
and he's
he
going to
does.
use it.
Versus
You all know this as a
my
confirmation.
yeah. plus my dots in blood sorcery plus strength. So
All right, he got 2. He rolled very bad.
oh well, then he's in trouble. Well, I only actually got 2 as well. Is a 5 a success or not a success?
No, 5 is not a success. What happens on a tie?
It does not say.
So, do you want to read it out to me? What it says?
Yeah, I'll just start from, if the poison hits, the user rolls a contest of strength plus blood sorcery versus stamina plus fortitude in his case. If the user wins, the poison does a margin in aggravated health damage to mortals and non-have superficial health damage to vampires.
Okay.
So I imagine this is nothing because we tied. So
Yeah. So you need to
that's
beat
fine
him
'cause
in
it
order.
sticks around.
So as you're cutting, you cut against his arm, and you see the poison begin to seep in, but he just flexes, and the poison oozes out. It doesn't even get into his system.
Yeah, okay.
DJ, what are you doing? You muted?
Okay, there we go. Yes, I hit 4 different incorrect buttons on my stream deck. As a sneaky little invisible girl, well, DJ's not gender fluid. As DJ, as invisible, I'd like to get as close to this man as humanly possible. And I'd like to bite into his neck.
Okay. So,
Yep.
let me open up the rules on Diablerie.
I believe previously we said that this was basically like an athletics brawl to grapple him. when we tried this
So
last
that is
time.
the rules. It will be a brawl, a contested brawl for grappling.
Sick.
Hold on. There's literally a spot that talks about Diablerie.
There is. Luckily, this book is very well laid out and easy to navigate, so you'll find it
Of course.
quickly.
Very
I
easy.
did find it quickly using Control F.
There you go. Thinking with portals.
Okay. So first you need to grapple, and then each turn you're going to begin draining. It's going to take a while before you actually begin the Diablerie process. Let's start with a strength and brawl.
So here's the thing. It would take a normal kindred a long time. But if I succeed on this, I have a potence ability. That means he's in trouble, so he should roll well. I used all my experience points for
Because-
this exact attack pattern.
Because he cannot see you coming, he's actually not even going to get to use his strength. He's going to use his
Okay.
dexterity to try and get away
Awesome.
as a reaction.
Come on, you bitch. I'm going to use a willpower and re-roll my fell die. Whoa. I'll use another point of willpower. Re-roll these dice.
Okay.
Good. Pop 2. There we go. There we go. Okay. That is 7 successes.
Okay, you beat him by 2.
Good thing I used those will points.
Okay.
So. Go ahead.
You come up behind him, and he almost gets away as he, like... All those of you behind him, Aurora and Dustin, almost out of nowhere, bleeding from the shadows, DJ just grabs this person's shoulders and just bites in. What does the ability you're talking about do?
Okay, so also to add a little extra sauce onto that, this is the most bestial you've ever seen DJ look. When he like melts back into the realm of visibility, the eyes are completely yellow, the nails are slightly longer, and the jaw almost looks like it extends unnaturally to accommodate for this bite. This bite is a level 3 potence ability called Brutal Feed. In combat, Brutal Feed comes immediately after a successful bite attack. The victim first takes bite damage, followed by a number of automatically successful feeding actions up to the user's potence rating. Against vampires, the number of feeding actions is halved, round down. Armor does not protect against Brutal Feed, as the wounds are, at least begin as, mainly internal. So, I am going to get one, immediately successful feeding action as I latch on to him.
Isn't it per number of potence?
Yes, but you round down, and I only have 3 points of potence.
Right. Okay, so you get one free feeding action. Hold on.
Yes.
Let's look up what the damage that feeding does.
Now, against a Kine, it would immediately be 3 successful feeding actions, but since he's a kindred, it is only the one. Because I got to round down, so. But
Yes.
still, I'll take 3 successful bites.
Apologies, I was not preparing for a diablerie to happen.
No, this man deserves the worst of deaths.
Okay. A vampire can use their fangs as weapons during a brawl-based attack. A win on the roll lodges the attacker's fangs into the victim, dealing them exactly 2 aggravated health damage. So you get an immediate 2 aggravated health damage.
Nice.
I'm gonna tell you this. You're going to need to stick on feeding with it on him. Oh wait, no. Because you also got the immediate. Okay. You need to feed on this person for 1 more roll.
Yeah.
Aurora, really quickly, what are you doing?
First things first, I'm gonna look at the other human that is still there. If he had one, I would have looked at him and said, with awe, maybe, just go run, get out of
Go
it.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead and do the intimidation plus whatever you get from awe.
Okay, cool.
Which would be the number of points you have in presence. You get to add.
That is correct.
Cool. That's one. And you said intimidation?
Yes, so charisma intimidation.
Okay, cool. Charisma 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. That is 6 successes.
6 successes, huh? This person just looks at you, throws down whatever firearm they have, and starts running.
Sweet.
Dustin,
You're
not gonna.
Now you're gonna have to tell me. There you go.
Wits awareness, really quickly.
Sweet.
It is now the man in black's turn to try and resist against this feeding that's happening.
Fuck you, botch the roll. Fuck you, botch the roll.
What's your wits awareness?
It's just my wits
That's
awareness
one
is only
success.
1 crit. Yeah.
Oof. Okay, you don't see it. But he's gonna try and throw you off, DJ. Go ahead and roll your brawl strength to stay off. I dropped a die somewhere. Let me go find it.
God bless you.
There it was.
Let's see. You said strength plus brawl?
Unless you have an ability that allows you to use Dex for this.
I do not. So that's only going to be 5 dice. I'm going to use a willpower. Reroll these failures.
You're gonna want to crit.
That I figured. That's why as soon as I saw failures, I was like, I need at least all successes. Okay. This
Forgotten
is
willpower existed.
well. These are they're successes. So technically, I can't use willpower to reroll them because you can only do that with failed dice. So that is 5 successes.
Interesting. Your friends are still in the room. I'm gonna allow each of them to attempt a just if they have Aurora and Dustin.
Dustin.
Do either of you have dots in Brawl?
Yeah,
Um,
not a lot, but
I have one.
I also have
Okay,
only one
Both of you roll
I'm
me
good
a
at knife.
Brawl.
Just the
with nothing
brawl.
else.
Just one D. Just roll me that one D10.
It is a normal 1 success.
I didn't
success?
get no
Okay.
successes.
Would you like to use a willpower to re-roll this?
You know what? That is fair. I will do that. That's still a 5.
You are allowed to burn
Yep.
as much willpower as you would like to.
That's a 6. I will burn a
There
second
we go.
willpower.
There we
Okay.
go. We got there.
So, you realize you're losing your grip on him, DJ, and that's when no one else in the room, Aurora and Dustin, you two run and you hold the Bane and Black's arms to his side. Vitae is leaking out of his neck and down the front as he has slowly started gasping in pain. We're gonna go to the Diablerie rolls now, as he is out of HP.
I have a question for you, really quick. I can only enhance my own blood potency, but would like making this guy hungrier make him easier to Diablerie?
No, so
Or would
Diablerie.
mitigated damage help better?
So what Diablerie is going to be right now is DJ's just going to need to make a number of rolls against this person's blood potency.
Okay.
This
If that's the
person
case while we're
has.
holding him down, I'm just pulling the shotgun out, and I'm ready if this guy gets out to just to blast him in the chest. That's all I
Okay.
got.
Well, he's fully out. So even if DJ cannot fully drain him, you could. He's still going to be out.
He's basically
So-
an
Yeah,
orc.
but I'm gonna blast his head
DJ
off then if we get
DJ
Diablerie.
immediately lose 1 point of humanity right now.
Okay. That was on the risk evaluation document. I go down to 6 humanity.
Go ahead and roll strength resolve right now.
Okay, strength plus resolve. My resolve is real good. Okay.
You're gonna need to make 3 of these checks.
5, 7. This roll should go well. 1. That's 5 successes.
Okay, do it again. You got 1 success there.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I won't use a willpower to reroll the 1 miss, so that's 9 successes on the second one.
Got it. What? Last one.
Okay. I'm gonna burn a willpower. Reroll these.
Your margin is 3, so if you don't need to use that willpower, you don't have to.
Okay, I did need to, but thank you for telling me, because I won't use another one. So that's 3 successes.
Okay. You manage to absorb. He is diablerized. Now, and Dustin, you know what this process is. You need to.
Dustin's a little shaken, honestly, watching this. From
You
the
know
outside.
it's not done. But
Uh-huh.
his body decays into ash almost immediately. Now, DJ, you need to make a number of, of humanity and blood potency rolls against their blood potency.
Okay. Before he ceases to exist, I want to growl through my teeth and say, Uma of the Banu Hakim has judged you unworthy of these powers. And then I'll drink the soul out of him. And then I am rolling blood potency plus who now?
You're rolling your blood potency and your number of dots of humanity.
Okay. So I'm rolling 7 dice.
Mm-hmm.
6 humanity. That's 3, 6, 7. Is this roll eligible for willpower rerolls?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Because I didn't roll bad, but I don't know what my target is, so I want as many successes
It's a
as possible.
contested roll.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
great. 2. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. It is 8 kills. Or 8 successes. 8 kills.
8 kills. You killed this man 8 times.
Okay. You gain 40 points of experience
Damn.
to immediately spend on increasing your blood potency up to a maximum of 3, or on disciplines known by the victim, which were fortitude, potence, and presence.
So I gain dots in all 3 of those?
You gain this 40 experience to use on those right now.
Gotcha. Cool. I'm gonna go to potence level 4 if you don't mind, boss.
Go ahead.
Coolio. Is there anyone in here that is not directly allied with me?
Not right now.
Okay, because that motherfucker was going to get a look from Satan himself.
But
And
describe it for the audience anyway.
sure, DJ is going to stand up, and he's going to whip his head back, and his hair will sort of move with him. He'll wipe the blood off of his chin. Content warning for sacrilege, if that's a line for anybody.
A little bit.
Okay,
just a
okay.
little.
No, that's completely fine. That's why I said it, to give everyone a heads up. So I will just like step on his wrist, and I'll just put let's say 12 bullets into his chest anyway. Oh, he's a pile of ash. Never mind.
Well, there's still a husk. He's like a dried out. He looks like a shrimp chip.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I want to put 12 holes in him and make him look like a bugle instead. Thank you.
Got it. Excellent. As now he is desiccated into ash as these bullets just tear him apart. And there is just a cheap suit left on the floor where he once was. And you breathe.
I think Dustin remembers what this moment is like from the inside. And is this like a you're in a lot of rage kind of moment, or is this like a drained kind of moment in his experience?
Honestly, right now, there's such a weird swell of the adrenaline and the anger that I've been holding is mixing with the euphoric bliss that I would imagine comes from all the energy that I just took in.
Now, one aspect of Vampire the Masquerade is when you diablerize someone, you take on some of their abilities and characteristics. You also take on, unfortunately, in some cases, small quirks or personality traits. You gain 2 things in addition to whatever you spent your experience on. You gain 1 advantage. Hold on. What's the name of this one again? Sorry. Oh,
No, you're
here?
good.
There it is. It's a merit. You gain the merit bond resistance. You also gain the folkloric block to counting seeds.
Okay.
So if anyone spills a bag of seed in front of DJ, you gotta count it.
Okay.
I have to imagine then that if that's kind of how that works, Dustin is expecting DJ to be like, I don't know, for at least momentarily like more violent and cruel. And so he might like.
It depends how well you roll against. It depends how well you roll on that last one, is what you know.
Totally fair, but like, Dustin only has his experience to go off of, so he'd probably step between Aurora and DJ. Not like super defensively, but put like a hand on DJ's shoulder. Definitely like doesn't have his knife ready or anything, or his gun ready or anything. Just, hey, you all right?
As soon as you touch me, I like whip around.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm good. You good?
You just committed the biggest taboo. Hope you realize that.
Well, there's a reason I didn't want the camera right here. And I'll start reloading consequences.
As you're reloading, hold on.
Ooh.
Around all of the building, you all see a bright orange flash as outside a ring of fire engulfs this outside of the building. Fire is very bad, as you all know, for Kindred. You see everyone who is battling back up. The battle was mostly over by this point in time. But the whole building is cut off from the outside by this wall of flame.
Mhm.
And you hear from down below someone enter. The hour of reckoning is at hand. I shall send you all to your final rest. It is Father Rictus.
This fucking bitch.
I mean, this is how Dustin is. He'd probably look to DJ and Aurora and be like, run?
We got what we came for.
All right. You two get out of here. And he's going to run towards Father Rictus.
Aurora, something inside of you is telling you to go to Father Rictus right now.
Is it something I can fight?
You can choose not to listen.
So it's like intuition, not compulsion.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna take one step forward, but knowing exactly who this guy is, sort of shake myself and don't come closer. But I do raise a pistol at him.
I mean, he's like 2 floors down, isn't he?
I mean, you can wait up here for him, but Dustin's gonna meet him in the hallway.
Yeah. Just basically just standing there with a pistol just in case. Because I don't want to go near him.
Okay. Then Dustin, you encounter him first in the hallway. You see that he is wearing his priest vestments. Underneath, there's clear signs of body armor that he's wearing. He has in his hand a crossbow loaded with a stake instead of a bolt. He has a cross around his neck as well as garlic. And he has a pair of what you can only assume to be incendiary explosives on his hip.
It doesn't see him like in the hallway like he wasn't expecting. Absolutely first thing, there's no words exchanged. He's gonna spit the blood in his mouth at him and try and back around a corner real fucking fast so he's not in firing range.
Alright, roll that really quick. What does he roll in response?
Well, I can't quite remember. Oh, it's dexterity plus athletics for me to hit him with the spit. So let's see. That is 3 successes, 1 crit, and 1 bestial critical.
Alright. He's gonna roll his physical dice pool. He got 2 successes, so he's gonna take 1 margin of poison on that.
Yeah, well, that was just to hit him.
Right.
The poison is stamina plus occult. Versus 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wow, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 successes for the poison.
Okay. You spit this poison at him, and he growls as it goes into his eyes. It's sizzling. Let me read very
It
quickly.
says that any mortal who takes even 1 point of damage collapses unconscious.
Oh,
Oh?
This
Okay.
is instant fuck you for mortals, but he may have some
he is
tricks.
an exceptional mortal, so I am gonna give him
This is
a roll
fair.
to resist this.
That is fair.
So he's gonna roll. Actually, he's just gonna roll for how many points of health he has.
Yeah, and again, it's stamina plus occult for him, unless he has some vampire powers to do stamina plus fortitude.
Oh wait, does he roll against the poison first before
Yeah.
he takes damage?
Yeah, he gets a
Okay.
number of points against my number of successes, but I
So
got
stamina plus occult.
success.
Okay, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Then let me roll
Sorry, I
that
should've
really
did
quick,
excellent.
because he should have rolled against that. So how many successes did you
Yeah.
get?
6, all of them.
That's a couple of crits in there. This guy's
Oh,
very
wow.
good at occult. He's been doing this for a while. So that's... He got 6 successes, so he does not take any of the
Damn.
damage from poison. He's rolling
Yeah.
8 dice for occult.
This is fair. So I think around from the corner, if he doesn't hear the guy immediately collapse, Dustin's like, you can still walk away. I don't really give a damn about you.
I am bound by oaths and in service to my god. The one god. And I am in service to much more. And he's going to try, and you don't even see him pull this out, but a hatchet just embeds itself in the wall next to around the corner where you're hiding that he clearly threw. And he's gonna roll he's gonna roll to hit you with this.
Fair.
With the second hatchet. You go ahead and give me to resist this. I believe it is dexterity.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just dexterity.
Okay. I'm gonna use a willpower to re-roll 2 of those. Yeah, I'm gonna use 1 more. I don't want to get hit by this. That's better. So that's 3 successes.
Okay, you are gonna take 1 point of, because it's half. Yeah, so you're gonna take 1 point of superficial damage as this axe just cuts into the side of you. He clearly has more where that came from.
Yeah. I'm supposing I kind of have a sense of where he threw that from, considering.
Yeah, you know
Then it
he's
just
still
came through
coming
the
up
wall.
the stairs around the corner.
Yeah, then I'm just gonna say fuck this wall and fire dragon ton rounds from this shotgun in his, let's say, general direction.
Alright, he's gonna count as having cover for this.
Does it count as cover if I don't give a damn about the cover and these rounds would 100% go through this cover? I'm just asking.
It's just for purposes mostly of aiming.
Fair.
Okay. He's gonna roll. What's his dice pool for this is only 4.
I'm gonna use 1 more willpower to roll 4 of these dice, but I already got 3 successes, so.
How many successes did you get?
3.
So yeah, he takes the damage plus the dragon fire.
Oh yeah, then I guess I will not use that willpower if I hit him already. I don't remember how the Dragonfire works, to be honest.
I believe the only thing the Dragonfire actually does is against Kindred, because it can't be more lethal than a bullet already is, since they're on impact flame.
This is fair. Then, yeah, whatever, I believe a shotgun is like +3 damage, but...
So he's gonna take 4 points of aggravated damage, reduced, because of his body armor. Okay. He
the line
spins
is-
around the corner.
Assholes always talk about God, lamb.
You see him bleeding from, like, pretty clearly the abdomen where you struck him. But instead of holding a weapon out, he thrusts across into your face. Make a remorse test. To do this,
That
go ahead.
is 3 successes.
Yep. Okay. You immediately flee from the side of this cross.
Really?
Or
Three
you don't actually, no, you don't run away. You just collapse. You are unable to act for a number of turns equal to... Okay, you cannot act for 2 turns.
Okay.
As the sight of this cross forces you to the ground. I have business to attend to. I will come back for you later. And he steps into the
Can I
office.
still move a bit?
You can say something, but keeping in mind, emotionally, what you feel at the sight of this cross is helpless, self-loathing, and disgust. It's the same emotions that Uma felt when encountering this person.
Okay. I mean, I meant more, can I move? Dustin doesn't have anything to say to him.
I mean, you could flee, but you're not allowed to get closer to him.
Am I allowed to shoot at him with the other gun I have? I'm not gonna... I will
So-
back up while I do it. I don't know what the rules are here, is what I'm saying.
No, so you are... It specifically says unable to act except for in their own defense, for in this case, like, running away, or if he were coming after you to resist. But he's clearly walking away from you.
Yeah, right. Then it's... All he says is heads up, obviously, to the people upstairs.
Okay. He enters the room. DJ and Aurora. Are you two still in here?
I'm still there, and I shoot as soon as I see it, if it's possible.
Yeah, go ahead and make a dexterity and firearms.
Well, can I also add my rapid reflexes on that?
No, because that's not what rapid reflexes is for defense against firearms.
Right.
So if he
Right.
shoots at you with the crossbow.
Okay, 1. You said firearms and dexterity, right?
Yes. Gonna get a +2 since you've got Dustin's handgun.
Okay. So 5 total because I have only 3. Does that make sense? 'Cause you gotta...
No, you're still rolling 3. If you hit, you do 2 extra damage.
I see. I was very confused.
Sorry, I worded that strangely.
I have 2 successes.
2 successes. You manage to shoot, but it just goes wide over his shoulder.
Okay.
He steps fully into the room. DJ's not here, right?
I mean, said he left.
Yeah, I mean, I said he left. But
Okay.
he's not.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I said if you said.
No,
He
I
holds-
yeah, I did.
He's still holding the cross and rosary. Repent for what you are, monster. What you represent. I'm gonna need you to make the same remorse test.
Okay. Remorse.
It's underneath your humanity.
Alright. What does that roll?
I believe it rolls a number equal to half your humanity plus something else.
Okay. I pressed it. I don't know if it did it.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's 2 successes. It says remorse check succeeded.
Oh, because it also depends on how much willpower you have left. And unfortunately, you all have been using willpower a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't used my willpower.
You still have 4 willpower blocked off, it says?
Is that mine?
Are you sure you're not looking at me?
No, I'm looking at Aurora. It says you've used 3 of your 5 willpower.
She has not rolled any willpower tonight.
I believe
that may be from.
That's from an older session.
Yeah. Because I've been using. I in my head I was like, oh, good thing I fucking left because my willpower's in the fucking toilet because I've been using it like
I
candy.
can unblock it because I haven't done any willpower rolls.
So, willpower doesn't
No.
recover over time as much.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and let you unblock 1
Okay.
and then re-roll it.
Okay, so I'm gonna unblock 1 and then re-roll it with the remorse test because I don't know how to do that.
Well, unfortunately, as it stands, I don't think you, even with 3 willpower, can successfully resist this.
Okay.
You also collapse into, as it states, a vampire collapses into self-loathing and disgust, unable to act.
Can I do something as I'm running away about this real quick?
You're gonna be about to act. You're gonna be able to act in just a moment, but I'd like to narrate this first.
Just check it. Yeah. Sorry.
He's holding up the cross in one hand. He pulls this crossbow, which has the stake loaded into it. You know what you are. Do you know who spawned you and what they did to me?
As long as I'm not actively trying to hurt him, I can say whatever I want, right?
Yeah, you can respond to his questions.
Alright. I'm gonna look up at him and I'm gonna be like, I know exactly who they are. And I know who you are.
You see him begin to cry. I'm tired. You have the benefits of eternal youth. I have wasted away my life killing your kind, your siblings, your spawn. Every time I find them, they manage to get away. I have ended 6. Why did you think you would be any different? And you see his hand is shaking as he's holding this crossbow.
They'll keep making more and more. And they'll keep finding people willing. Like I was. Like your daughter was. We were all willing. You just refused to accept it. Maybe your daughter ran away from you.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I know my plan.
Dustin, you're able to act, and you can come up behind this person. You
I
heard
assume I
that
still had
last.
to run away.
No.
My
You
plan
managed to
was
get a
run down the. Oh, my plan was to run down the stairs and yell at a Valkyrie to go end this man.
Okay. So, you don't technically have to flee unless you critically fail. You have to stay in. You have to not act, but you didn't have to run away. So you recover.
And it only lasts. Okay.
It only
Yeah,
lasted
then I'm
for
gonna-
2 actions, which one action was the true faith, the other action has been to talk. You can come up behind him. He does not immediately notice that you've recovered.
Yeah. Then instead of shooting him, I think my plan is basically like I'm behind him. I'm assuming he's firing with his right hand, left hand.
He's got the cross in the right hand, and he's got the gun in the left.
Yeah. Then it's a knife in my left hand, and I'm gonna try and hook it in front of his wrist and pull the gun away with the bladed end of the knife. It is an attack, but the primary purpose is get the thing not pointed at Aurora.
Go ahead and give me that melee.
Alrighty.
He gets 1 success to resist you, so
Yeah, I mean that's only 3 successes for me, but
that's enough. You cut into his wrist, and he drops the crossbow entirely. The
technically,
stake
you
flies
still
off.
got to do the poison thing because it's still on there.
So he's gonna roll for against the. He's gonna roll the occult again.
Yep. It's 1, 2, 3. It's 4 successes for me this time. He very likely will succeed at this. We'll see.
Got, he got 7 successes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna even try and spend willpower to contest that. I still get him for the 3, I assume, for the knife.
Yes. You still do the 3 damage with the knife itself. Which, let me mark that down. Hold on.
Also, I don't think Dustin's saying anything at this point. This is just like yelling.
Okay.
He's not in a position to banter.
He
at this
winces
point.
immediately as this blood like comes out of his wrist, and he drops the cross as well, which is just dangling around his wrist.
Mhm.
He falls to his knees at this point. He pulls out one of these incendiary devices. And he's just holding it. Like, he's got his thumb in the pin. I will not be done until the monsters that murdered my daughter are dead.
You
And
murdered
they-
your daughter.
No.
You ended her life.
I ended what was inhabiting her body. I ended the demon that became from what happened.
Sure sounded like her when she screamed, right? You ended her life. The murderer that you seek is you.
Aurora, go ahead and give me a... this is going to be... maybe a manipulation and persuasion.
Cool. Manipulation and persuasion. That's 6. It doesn't count with the stunning, right? For the social dice pools. Just question.
No, you being hot doesn't have anything to do with you gaslighting
You
him into thinking he killed his daughter.
You can be turned on just a little bit. That is 5 successes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna have him roll. Actually, unless he rolls at least 2 crits, he cannot resist this. Which he doesn't. He rolled 1 success. He begins sob, like the tears begin to flow. No, he would never willingly. She would never. She killed. She
All
killed
of
her
them.
own mother. That was not my
Oh.
daughter. And he begins to get into a loop as he's beginning to break down. You see his shoulders just go slack. Aurora, what do you do to this person now that he is just completely shut down?
I'm gonna go kneel in front of him, and I'm gonna go ask him. I can't let you survive. You've hunted too many of my siblings, and I know you will continue to hunt my own parents. So I'll give you 2 mercies. and you can choose whichever one. Do you want me to kill you? Or cripple you? So you're still alive. You just can't come after my parents. Or myself.
I have been dead since the day she did this.
Then,
Kill me.
okay. I'm going to... since my feeding is consensual, technically this is consensual, I'm just gonna suck him dry.
All of the sounds fade away. As you do this, you take in his blood. It hurts. Clearly, whatever he's done has...
Yep.
He's definitely done something to his blood to resist feeding. You're gonna take 2 points of aggravated damage.
Fine.
As you're consuming him and he is being drained, and you see this, Dustin. As he becomes paler and paler, and he starts to look his age, finally, after being drained. He passes, and as he passes away, Aurora, you're just left standing with him, like, cupping his head. The orange flame behind you, you silhouettes. It starts to rain. The orange is beginning to die down as it is being rained on. And you're just left there, held in your arms. Almost like a painting. Almost like a religious painting of someone holding a dead person in their arms. Aurora, you no longer have the stake bait flaw. We're going to pick up a week after the events of that night. The gang violence in Midtown is but a distant memory in the 24-hour news cycle, as they are now talking about Jay Leno and his crazy cars again. San Francisco is largely forgotten, with a full square block that was burnt. The police report is unconclusive about what happened, mostly just saying it was a random arsonist at the scene who did this. Your tracks are covered. No Kindred are ever implicated for anything. Aurora. Finally, with no threats, you settle into a routine at the Duvernay Manor. Coming and going as you please, doing basically whatever you want. Checking in on Malcolm as often as you wish. Dustin. What does Dustin do at this point?
I think the first thing he does is try to come up with like a report that balances him not wanting to get in a lot of trouble for involving the anarchs, but also kind of, I don't know, giving them a little bit of credit to start that, like, he promised to sort of massage stuff, and I think he and Aurora are the two best placed for that between the anarchs and the I've forgotten the name of the leader.
Within a year, Augustus and the Premier negotiate a treaty. Anarchs are free to come and go from the city for their own business, as this is a very important place to go around the Pacific coast. The Anarchs spread all the way into Oregon and Washington, creating factions in Portland and Seattle. And while independent, Fog City largely eventually ends up in the sphere of influence of the Anarchs, at least.
Mhm. So I think that the trade-off as he does this, and he would talk to probably any Anarch, but definitely to Augustus, is I'm helping you get a little more authority. So that means I'm keeping my eye on you a little harder. Is like the warning he gives.
Oh, well, honey, don't worry. But I did want to discuss with you something. I heard you're the person to go to talk about the Thin Bloods in this city. And through your connection with Augustus, you managed to secure a bit more help for these abandoned kindred within the ranks of the Anarchs themselves.
He knows
And you're pretty
his way to
busy
my
at
heart.
this. You're pretty busy at this point, as you find yourself now elevated by the Premier as the point of contact, mostly for some of the Anarchs. Bones no longer serving underneath Bones. You have your own place in court alongside, and you do still assist when necessary. Although you stay out of the politics, you're mostly just there to keep the peace.
Somehow I doubt that he can stay completely out of it, but
No, never completely out. Before we touch on DJ, really quickly, was there anything Aurora wanted to specifically accomplish within the next year or so?
Basically, within the next year, now that Aurora is no longer afraid of being randomly staked, and die completely, she's going to start putting down roots in San Francisco. Mostly just taking part in the Camarilla and sort of like proving that there's a reason why my sires chose me and changed me, even though I am a caitiff. I am slowly trying to move up at least in the Camarilla.
You realize that to continue this, to advance within the Camarilla, you will soon have to leave Fog City.
Yep.
Is that something that Aurora is ever comfortable with doing?
Eventually. Not in a hurry to do so, especially if Malcolm is still in torpor, but it depends on what else holds her there, because this was one of her original plans anyway, to become powerful so that nobody can hurt her.
Okay. DJ, both of your friends are being pulled in opposite directions towards factions, but you've always been very independent. With this new, not voice, this new aspect of the beast within you, telling you maybe it would be better if I was in charge. But you manage to push it down. But every so often when you succumb to the beast, that megalomaniacal feeling bubbles to the surface.
Yeah,
What does DJ
I think DJ sours a bit after the fragment of his humanity that evaporated in that halfway house goes. One day he just finds it easier to get rid of the pictures of Alizé. And he thinks about the like very attached, committed way he was clinging to his sire's memory and the heavy feelings of revenge, and he's a little confused as to why he cared so much. Can't really remember it almost. And drugs make music a lot more lucrative, as it turns out. So I think that deal that I begin pushing to most of the kind in the nation by way of musical indoctrination. I think that DJ thinks he pushes down the megalomaniac urges that rise in his chest, but I don't know if he's done that as much as he thinks he has.
Quickly investigating the time you had while the other two were fighting, you discover how fizzy is actually made. And for the audience at home, fizzy is a combination of two things. It is a combination of a series of drugs created by the Second Inquisition to help their hunters resist and to be more mentally powerful, with some hallucinogenic drawbacks, fused with thin blood alchemy. A bit of kindred in every drop. It helps
Sounds like a tagline.
because who you're drawing the blood from over time, not quite a ghoul, but does gain sway over mortals who are chronic users and has the ability to influence and manipulate and talk to them much better. DJ, you find it a lot easier to get people to do what you want, especially the people around you. Do you stay in San Francisco, though?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I give the I would tell anyone who's asking why I'm staying. I'm staying. Someone's got to be here for Malcolm when he wakes up. But TJ's getting very comfortable in the city where he knows the streets so well, and slowly people are learning who he is.
Drawn in different directions, I feel like it's safe to say our coterie does not see each other much. I feel like pretty soon Dustin will probably set up shop somewhere else.
I would probably visit DJ a lot.
That's definitely possible.
Yeah.
And I think Dustin doesn't really set up somewhere different as much as he finally moves fully into the manor, where he was still in like the side place.
It's a very
Yeah.
awkward.
Until Malcolm wakes up, I think we go to the manor a lot. At least for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And I would
Malcolm's not going to wake up until 2022. Unfortunately for Malcolm.
He's gonna have some surprises when he does.
Yep. There's gonna be a lot of
You made
visiting.
who president? Because
Look, man, I looked away for like a decade.
In the alternate timeline of my Vampire the Masquerade, it is correct that John Cena does become the 2016 president. Woefully underqualified, but
Well, that's
a
not that much
snubbly
different.
president.
The memes would be
Anyway.
excellent, though. Let's be real.
Anyway, it's about 3 years later. DJ, you do get a message on your phone. And it just shows... It's from Uma, actually. It's just a thumbs up and a photo of Uma standing over in front of a burning manor that you quickly ascertain is where Velena Nervo was still remaining. Looks like Uma could not let one grudge go.
I text back, hell yeah.
Okay.
I think,
I mean, there's the group chat.
yeah, Uma would send it to the group chat.
It resurrects the group chat out of nowhere.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations. We
It's
should
like
meet up
2
for
phones
drink.
later.
After seeing this text and the resurrection of this old group chat, a bit of nostalgia hits you all for those 6 months, 6.5 months you all were working together. But the times will never be like that again for any of you. It may be similar, but it'll never be the same. With that, we are going to close on this finale of the Kindred of Fog City.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you
did
all
it.
for sticking with us for all, I think it was 7 total episodes, 6 total, whatever
Yeah.
number.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen all of it, I'd recommend going back and watching the previous ones. But thank you for being here. We're going to do outros in just a moment. But really quick, I wanted to say that this story was the first time I've GM'd on stream, and I'm very glad that all of my players and all of those of you who watched did it with me. We're going to go in reverse order than we did last time. If D, you would like to do your outro first.
Certainly. Good evening, my lovely creatures of the dark. My name is D. I am a voice actor, streamer, musician, professional GM all across the internet, and I also am the host of the DCAP. The DCAP is a show that is a service I provide channels where I will take their longest long-form shows and I will watch all of it and condense it down to a 20 or less minute recap so that you can catch up to the latest episodes and you're not missing out on anything and you know what's going on and you don't have to spend 40 hours because not everybody has 40 hours to watch the backlog of a show. So if you think of a show, I'm pointing at you specifically. If you think of a show that you think would benefit from that service, hit my DMs up, follow me on Twitter at It's the Riddler, and recommend me to people, and I'll make recaps of all your favorite TTRPG actual plays. Thank you so much.
Continuing on to that reverse order, Tate, why don't you go ahead?
Absolutely. Hello, Twitch, and hello, Internet. My name is Tate Washburn. You can find me at Tate the Terrific on Twitter, no spaces, or on here, Tate_the_terrific. But there's really not as much going on there. On Twitter, I'm mostly a ball of sarcasm and politics and memes. I'm having a great time watching Twitter burn down as much as it's terrible. It's been very entertaining to me. But what you should really do is follow this channel's Twitter, Neon Lights Our Play, where we have several people who are much funnier than me do a lot of tabletop jokes and also announce all the cool shows we're doing. You should definitely follow our Discord because that's where we do a whole lot of memeing and a lot of chats, video chat, text chat, stuff like that. And it's also where we recruit new players and announce new games. So if you want to be all up to date on the Neon Lights Roleplay stuff, that is the place to be. But other than that, it's been fun being here.
Last but certainly not least, Glyza, would you go ahead?
Hey, I'm Glyza. I go by they, them. I am a person of many hats. I'm a podcast host. I'm a writer. I'm a variety streamer. I'm a talk show host. I am a TTRPG personality. Starting tomorrow, I will be GMing my first long-term-ish campaign. It's not a one-shot. It's going to be called spies.edu, where it is a hack of it's not really a hack, it's basically totally spies, but they're in college and all of that. So please keep an eye out for the first episode. That's gonna be tomorrow. I'm so excited to bring that to everybody. But basically to see all of the stuff I'm in, just check out bio.link/classical Glyza to see wherever you can find me on the internet. That's also where I'll put my schedule starting tomorrow. I'll update it tonight. But hopefully Twitter doesn't burn down completely. I am enjoying it, but I'm still on there. But you can find me everywhere else on all of the socials at Classical Glyza for all of my announcements and everything else. So hi.
I think that's everyone. So I will go. Hello, I'm Milan, also known as Mallard on the internet. You can find me over on Twitter for as long as it's still up, MallardMan_. Please go ahead and follow me there. I will be retweeting ducks until the day I deactivate my account. That's what I do. I also announce things.
Or the
there
whole site
sometimes.
crashes.
That's more likely, probably, honestly. You can also find me over on Twitch as twitch.tv/mallardband. I stream a variety of games. Pretty soon, in how many more days is it? 5 more? 4 more? Whenever Pokemon comes out, I'm going to be streaming that probably for 72 hours straight because I love Pokemon so much. And this new game has Wiglet, and I will catch a team full of Wiglets. Just because. Other than that, nothing else to say other than shout outs to Leona, who is a long member of this cast, could not make it with us for the finale tonight. Shout out to Foxy, who is also a long member of this cast, but unfortunately his character could not make it to tonight. Both of them are very involved in the network. I believe, should I shout out? I don't know what show's gonna happen next. I think there's a show on Thursday.
I think so. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Come back to the channel. Drop a follow. Subscribe.
Pretty
Yes.
sure
It's a
And
great
follow-
time.
Wednesday.
And follow Neon Lights Roleplay on Twitter as well. I think that's the Twitter.
Yeah.
we have
Neon Lights
Lights
RP.
Play.
With the bill.
Neon Lights R Play.
RP.
Actually, it is the Twitter is R Play, not RP.
it's our
Anyway,
play?
It is R
We
Play.
couldn't get Neon Lights role play, so we abbreviated one of them.
I've never noticed that. God bless.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
Wednesday
follow
we have
that Twitter.
Stardust Ghosts. I have
Shout
those
outs-
shows. Wednesday we have Stardust Ghosts. Thursday we have A Blade's Will. Actually, this is probably last week. I am wrong.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Stardust Ghost because my lovely partner's on that show, and you all should watch it. Also, shout out to Thursdays because that show is GM'd by our amazing tech. Shout out to Michelle for running tech. That was great. I
Also,
think
with
that's
I'm in it, and Foxy's in it as the GM. So yay!
yes. Shout out to With the Will as well. That's all the shout outs that I have. Shout out to moms, but only the good ones. You know who you are.
There you go.
Perfect.
Bye, Mom.
Bye.
Bye.
Forever I blew